All right, dudes. Well, here we are. How's everybody doing on this Monday? Hope everybody's doing well. Everybody have a good weekend?
Discovery.
Yes, no, maybe. Hey, Vasi, what's going on? Fractal. Vasi had 88 months. Fractal Cyclone at 104. Locaten at 23. Marco at 40. Fluffy with a 17-month resub, and Buck with 136 months. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on Massage 2? Sir, finishing the ship. What's going on? YouTube
Discovery,
coming up over there.
up.
How you guys doing? How's that fresh and brisk air? Dude, all right. So, if you guys didn't know, the mini split is hooked up, and it is freezing in here. Look at this. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. It's about 70 degrees in here. It's not bad. It's not bad. All systems 105, Mayan with the 83, Jim with a 99, NX Captain with a 28. Thank you. So, hey Chris, what's going on? So I was thinking, you know, let's put this thing to the test and let's play a game that generates a lot of heat. Try to play a game that's going to heat up the computer. So obviously Kerbal. Right? Battlefield will heat up the computer, but we'll save that for a little bit later this week. And we'll save Kerbal for a little bit later this week, too. So I was thinking... What? You hear that? Wait for it.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I was thinking we play some Satisfactory. Is the unit in the office or it's in the shop? It's in the office. And, yeah. I just really wanted to see what would happen. Like, what this thing's capacity is. So, I left the door to the shop open all night. And it is... I came in this morning and it was 65 degrees in the entire shop. And I'm like, my electric bill. Oh, no. So I turned it up to 70, and now it's just okay in here. I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see if it would do the whole shop. It turns out that, you know, overnight I was doing some research. The unit that I bought is a Mitsubishi P-Series. It's designed for cooling data centers. It's designed for cooling a data center and server room that's about 4 times the volume of the shop. It might be a little bit overkill. I am a data center. Yeah. Heat up the computer and heat up your blood pressure. Yeah, right? Yeah, if we play Battlefield. Yeah. So, yeah. I got it for short money, though, so screw it. Yeah. Yeah, Drummer, it's not, how many BTUs is it? Hang on, let me check. It's a PKA A18HA7. 18,000 BTUs an hour. An hour. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's here. It's this. It's a PKA 18HA7. It's that one. So 18,000 BTU an hour wall. That. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I got this for $1,000. Because, yeah, I know people. It is not $1,000 thingamajigger. Yeah, it's, yeah, no, we lucked out with this one. Yeah, we got this for pretty much, yeah, yeah, pretty much nothing. Guy wanted to get rid of it because he replaced it with a better unit, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this thing. You got to hook it all up, and I'm like, okay, $1,000. Does it heat as well? No, it is an air conditioner. It's not a heat pump. It's just an air conditioner. A good inverter, so you don't need 18,000 BTU. It'll throttle down and still run. Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is, so, long story short, guys, my brother-in-law is an HVAC guy, like industrial HVAC, and he got this thing for short money. Well, he knows a guy that got it for short money. This thing, it's used, but it's barely been used. It was being used to cool a data center, right? And it was cooling a data center, or not a data center, a server room for not very long until the customer was like, I need a better one. So they upgraded it, and then they just had this unit. And they're like, we got to we're going to do something with this. So I bought it. Yeah. And then I had my brother-in-law hook it up, and then I had my electrician wire it. We wired, I have a 240. I have 240 in the garage now. I mean, we had 240 before, but it's 240 at 50 amps, which is good enough. Next small thing that I need to do is just run the 240 for a plug for the welder, but we'll do that. You know, I told my electrician we'll do that some other time. So yeah, I have an industrial air conditioner basically in here. I mean, yeah, here's the specs on the thing. It's a PKA A18HA7, and that's the outdoor unit right there. This is what I have on the side of the shop. It's a Mitsubishi. It's really, really good. Are you gonna play the new Halo? Yeah, unlikely. Hey, Vert, it's been a minute. How you been? I'm glad to see the title. How's the build looking now? I will show you in a second. Dean, what's up? Did something with the SLS Centaur come out? I don't know. I've been neck deep in this project for most of the weekend. Wiring up the 240. Yeah. I'm not going to go and mess with it, but I know how to hook up 240 now. But don't screw with electricity. I don't screw with 240. I don't screw with 110 either, to be honest with you. Definitely invest in a cover for the winter. Yep. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. But yeah, dude, this is the guy. It is, line set's all hooked up. The electrician had me wire it. I know my electricity. He's like, you want to wire it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you wired up the 59, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, you should be able to do this. So I wired up all the data wires, not the 240 though. All the data wires for the control systems from the head unit to the condenser. Yeah, I did all that, which is pretty cool. And it works great. Yeah, 18,000 BTU an hour. 1,820 watts, like 1,820 BTUs an hour watts, which is pretty dang good. And it's got a capacity range. It's got a thermostat so I can control it. But yeah, check that out, man. Like this thing's no joke. Once again, it did the whole shop, no problem. Like, it got the whole shop down to 65 degrees, which, once again, my electric bill's not going to be happy, but I wanted to see, just to see if it could. How are the electricity prices in the U.S.? They're okay. They're going up, Peace Boy, because the grid has a lot of strain from things that are sapping up power. But it's not too bad. Yeah. Dean, you put in a 12K BTU heat pump by myself in one day last summer. It was a DIY unit with pre-charged lines. The best thing I ever did. You'll love it. Yeah, it's great, man. Did you watch the sail parade in Boston? I just went to the coastline near my house, Resi. They all went through the Cape Cod Canal the other day. And yeah, that's not far from me, and I just went to the coastline and watched them sail by.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It'll be good when you work on the car. Yeah, that's the thing. It you know, what I can do is we could run this thing, right, cool down the entire shop, and then reset, set the thermostat, close the door in here, keep in here nice and cool. And yeah. Did you see England versus Norway? I did. It's expensive if you don't buy one used. Try to look for one secondhand. If you're buying one new, Quag, it's a little expensive. Yeah, it's using single phase 60, which is, yeah, neat. Single phase 60 hertz, 208 to 230. So, size is your garage. It's about 1,100 square feet, Quag, and this thing could do something 4 times the size. It could cool an entire warehouse. Like it is pretty damn powerful. 18,000 is no joke for a unit like this. But yeah, so I figure let's put some heat into the system, dudes. Let's see if it can keep up with the heat generated from the computers. So, if you guys aren't familiar with this project, it's something that's been coming up a lot. It's something that's been coming up a lot recently for whatever reason or another. It switched us back over there. Sorry about that. Yeah, Synergy, it doesn't play nice with Synergy, and it selected the other monitor. Where can I find NASA papers? Technical reports server. Have we used the new computer with Satisfactory? No. No, I had to reinstall it. I reinstalled it at the end of Flame Trench on Friday, and I loaded the saves over while I was doing Flame Trench. So here, let's just go down here real quick. Let's see how the Titans are doing. The Titans! Titans! Hello. Look at all the Titans. Oh. Hey. What'd you find? Oh, look at you. You found some screws. And you found, look at that, aluminum casings. Good. Good boy. Look, power slugs. Oh, nobelisks. You found explosives. Very good. Good job, Titans. What about you? What did you find? Oh, look! Fused modular frames. That's great. Hello. Hello. Look at all these lizard doggos. So yeah, this is down here. The lizard doggos have been eyeing the fort here, but this is just a small production facility that I've been working on because here, let me go out here and I'll show you what we've been doing. Oh, look at all these little Titans. So busy now. So you think that's going to heat up the computer enough? That is a 1-to-1 scale model of the United Nations Space Command Pillar of Autumn. That's a Halcyon class cruiser from Halo. Now, I don't know how far we're going to go with this thing, but what I do know is people have been wanting to see it, so I figure I'll just give you guys an intro to this whole thing. And kind of go from there. Sorry, I needed to shoot a message there. So I figured this should be good enough to heat everything up. Over 12 months of sitting there and not a lick of rust. Well, we're in the desert. How are the doggos? The doggos are fine. Oliver, you love Satisfactory. Nice to see EJ playing it finally on YouTube. Yeah. Honestly, watching you build it back then was so captivating. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we're working on. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, whatever. So, yeah. I figure we'll, we'll start messing with this again. At least a little bit. I sent you a video I took from the sail parade. It involves the Constitution. I saw your message, yeah. That's cool. I'll check out that video a little bit later, Resi. Thank you, though. That's super cool. I didn't know you were out there. That's really cool. Yeah, we got him all the way up here. Why are you wanting to heat it up? It's not warm enough for you? Oh, I got a mini split installed into the garage, an industrial mini split, and I want to heat up we'll try to heat this room up. I'm gonna actually try to today, which is usually the opposite of what we want to do. Part of the reason why I haven't been playing a lot of games, guys, is because it's gonna get too hot in here. But I don't think that's a problem anymore. And also, just pause this for a second. Also, let me turn off the compressor. Hear that? Oh, I gotta shut off Starbase Live. It is a lot quieter in here. I did not realize how loud that floor AC unit was until I shut it off and turned on the mini split, and I'm like, huh. Why am I hearing things that I don't normally hear? Like, you can hear the hum from the computers, and I'm like, what? All I hear is tinnitus. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. So, yeah, you should get a lot nicer audio here as well. Also, rip Sam Neill. I can't believe that, dude. Yeah, it sucks. What are you gonna do? Dan, you're stripping paint, so I'm only in listening mode. Have fun stress testing the new AC unit. Have fun stripping paint, dude? Thanks, Binary. Yeah, Kuro, it did. So this is a 1-to-1. It's just wire framed out right now, but it's a 1-to-1 of the Pillar of Autumn. This is Halcyon class cruiser from Halo. If you never played Halo, I don't know. It's a big spaceship. Halo is a sci-fi video game, and yeah, it's pretty good. The ships in the game are pretty dang well thought out, which is super cool. Here, let's she's just a shell right now, but I'll take you, get up in there. I would like to start working on this project again, dudes, but there is some stuff we gotta get figured out before we do that. As I kind of get back into what we're working on here.
Thank you for participating in the Fix-It Elevation program. I am Elemeda, which is like Ada, but less advanced. We are not currently taking any feedback.
We have elevators. I guess the doors are on the wrong side, question? So this is the, we have some of the ship's interior done, but not a lot. And it looks like there's been some changes to some of the designs here over time, but here's some of the ship that, like, we got the docking bays all figured out. Could chat fit inside that? Most likely. A lot of time and effort went into getting this color palette right to match the ship. Yeah, this is port bay 1, that's starboard 1. And then in here we have, inside of the superstructure here, between the bays, I have entire corridors just all kind of fleshed out. I tried to put a lot of thought into this, thinking about how stuff moves around inside of the ship, but yeah, we can... And then I do believe starboard 2 is closed. I have the blast door closed. We'll follow through, dude, I think. We really should. I remember I had to squeeze up the bays to get them to fit correctly. I do believe that docking bays 1 and 4 on either side are actually just a smidge smaller to get this to fit correctly. Yeah, Oliver, a lot of time went into this, dude. So if you're familiar with Halo, you'd know that the ship is made out of basically a bunch of octagonal balls. It's basically a gigantic space frame with decks inside. And what I had basically figured out is that you can make this with sub-assemblies, and we can basically piece the whole thing together like a Lego kit, which is pretty cool. But the first thing I did was build out the shell of the ship and the space frame and everything for it. Ship is stored in the balls. Well, yeah. Sure. And then made sure we color matched the interior of the Pillar of Autumn, the Pillar of Autumn interior sections. It's the same color palette as Halo. I really made sure we matched it correctly with the corridors and stuff. But see, these are all pre-made corridors that you can just throw together and connect like a big Lego kit. So you could make levels from Halo in here with all the prefabs that I have. And then I have the twin propulsion reactors back here. They're blocked out, but they're not finished. Making that sphere was not... That was a time-consuming process. Yeah, that was a time-consuming process. But yeah, I have the shell of the ship is more or less fleshed out. The one big thing that's not fleshed out with this is the front. So the Pillar of Autumn is made out of 5 hull segments. If we just... if we kind of... Here, let me just go here like this. And show you. I mean, actually, I'd never seen this. I'd never seen that cross-section before. Oh, somebody built it in Minecraft, dude. Whoa. Yeah. All right. That's cool. It's comprised of 5 hull segments. That's cool that somebody made it in Minecraft. That's really neat.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Control C, Control V. Chief, what's up, dude? Yeah. A lot of progress has been made. But if you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's how the ship is made. It's kind of, yeah, a bunch of smaller. Somebody's 3D model on Sketchfab. Who made this one? Nepster CZ. Yeah, see. Actually, I think this one might be ripped, but that's okay. See, you have hull segment 1 here, then hull segment 2, and then 3. 3 is right here. And then hull segment 4 is obviously the big one. And then hull segment 5 is your engine section. That's your propulsion module. The ships in Halo, if you're not familiar, are really long-range ships. Halo takes place in the 26th century. So, yeah, it's presumed that we have mastered fusion and figured out how to sail around the universe, etc., etc. I knew the time would come again. Yeah, 93 months from Chief. Thanks, buddy. So, where I last left off was hull segments 1, 2, and 3. They're not exactly right. I screwed up. I did a Michael Bolton. I just screwed up some mundane detail. Remember when you wanted to have this finished by Christmas 2024? We could have. I could have put in the time, dude. Yeah, we could have done that. I mean, I had a whole system built out to build mass amounts of the ship all at once. Like, what really hosed the project was that I didn't, if you look, I mean, if you just kind of sit here and look at the segments right there, and then you look from a similar angle, they're not exact. It's close, but it's not exactly right. So having to refactor the entire front like basically the entire front of the ship, really, that coupled with low viewership or something else happened, something else came out, or we went back to playing Kerbal or whatever, kind of hosed the project. I put it on hold. Yeah, it's just a smidge. Yeah, that's it, Dino. It's not exactly straight, if that makes any sense. You finished your PhD in the meantime. Oh, well, that's good. Like, from hull segment 4 back, that's perfect. The proportions are pretty much exact. From here backwards. Yeah, it looks really, really good. But yeah, we have to redo these hull segments, which is gonna really suck. Your Satisfactory VODs are the top one I've watched again and again, especially the piping. Right on, man. So my whole idea is to build my factory inside of the ship. That's the whole idea. I wanted to build the factory inside of this thing. And in the complex below us here. The dry dock complex. So, in Halo, if, you know, not necessarily spoilers, but in Halo, the ships do have a dry dock, and you get to see the Pillar of Autumn in dry dock. I'm not going to say how, when, where, or why. You do get to see it in dry dock on a human world. And it has this whole flame trench for when it takes off and stuff. And it has 4 hold down points and umbilical arms, etc., etc. It's really, really cool, actually. And so what I was thinking is we could put some of the factory in here, and we could have all of our logistics systems inside of the structure of the dry dock. Because inside of the dry dock structure, you could say we have a lot of space. But yeah, the last note that I left of myself was remeasure and remake hull segment 3 and find your forward reactor placement. The reason why is because we figured out... Well, I'm not exactly sure if this is true, but conceptually it makes sense, and for this design, this is how I'm going to do it. The short story is that the Pillar of Autumn has 4 fusion reactors in it. It says it has 2. Like if you go Pillar of Autumn, right, and you go here like this, and then you go to here, and you go to reactor, right? Pillar of Autumn was equipped with 3 Mark II Hanley-Messer deuterium fusion engines, which supplied 10% of the power of the standard reactor. Pillar of Autumn is refitted with a set of improved nuclear fusion engines that featured 2 smaller reactors around a larger one, which were capable of boosting the overall power output by 300% for a short time if needed. So it originally had 2, they upgraded it to 3. Right? So that tells me, like, if you look at this design, if you look at the cross-section, which is lore here, Obviously, you have your two big reactors in the back for propulsion. They added a third reactor to be able to increase propulsion in the design, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that that's probably in between the two there. But that doesn't really account for where you're getting power from. Now, the ship, in my mind, always had an auxiliary. It always has had an auxiliary system on there for not auxiliary power, but there's basically a power plant on the ship for electricity, and then there's the power plants on the ship for propulsion. Obviously, like, it has to be that way. There's really no other. It doesn't really specify too hard. Like, let's go right here and go up. Yeah, see, pillar bottoms reactors will be able to be overloaded by explosive, etc., etc. The Autumn's overhauled reactors were a especially severe case of this. Usually the excess heat was conducted to a chemical agent, which would then vent into space. However, the Autumn's upgraded specifications included an upgraded cooling system, which featured a laser-induced optical slurry of ions chilled to near absolute zero, which was far more efficient than the typical method and removed the reliance on expendable chemical temperature-controlled substances. In essence, the amount of heat removed by the new system increased as the reactor's output did. The self-regurgitating, self-cooling power plant was critical in combat since it virtually eliminated the commander's concerns about overheating and slagging his ship's engines. So it talks about the power plant for propulsion here, but I'm fairly confident that there is another set of reactors in this thing. So when they're talking about reactors, they talk about the propulsion systems, right? But it doesn't necessarily talk about where they're getting power for the ship. Ships do have power plants. They have a power plant built in. That's not necessarily, I mean, it depends on the ship design. Like, I'm talking about naval ships in real life now. They have power plant designs that don't necessarily the propulsion systems aren't necessarily the ship's power systems. Like, the thing that keeps the lights on in the ship is not necessarily the power plant that propels the ship, right? It really depends, right? But that led me to believe that, okay, so we have our tri-reactors here. We have our two mains, right there and right there. This is in Maya. I procured a model of the ship and scaled it accordingly, right? And I kind of started fleshing out where the reactors are in Maya, right? And if you look, okay, that is the logical place for your tri-reactor for your propulsion systems. That doesn't necessarily mean that these reactors are doing everything. I firmly believe, even though it's really never been talked about, that there is another set of reactors in hull segment 3. HS3 has another set. These reactors do different things. Now, right here, that is your primary electrical power generation systems on the ship. This one controls all the electrical systems. That is your power plant for keeping the lights on the ship. This one up here, that one, is power for the magnetically accelerated cannon. All the ships in Halo are basically gigantic flying railguns because that's cool. And if you notice right here, I have that big barrel that goes through the top segments of the ship. It starts in hull segment 4 and it goes through 3, 2, and 1, and there's a muzzle brake out the front. That is a huge railgun. And in order to accelerate a slug that's, well, frankly, probably about the size of the Union Pacific Big Boy, it's probably the size of 4014. If you're going to accelerate that slug, you're going to need a lot of power, and you're going to need a lot of extra draw on the system. So it makes sense that the MAC the magnetically accelerated cannon, would have its own reactor. So that tells me, okay, so if it's a linear accelerated cannon, you have magnets basically all throughout this that accelerate it using alternating electromagnetic fields. That's how a railgun works. And since it's in the vacuum, you're pretty much good to go. Everything's vacuum insulated. But you're going to need your power plant to be roughly in the center of the cannon, right? It's not like a gun where you have everything at the back and then you have your big barrel, right? So that leads me to believe that there is a reactor here in hull segment 3 that's powering the Mac, and then this reactor down here is your ship's main power systems. These are
Go at throttle up.
completely agnostic systems to your propulsion system reactors back here. With fusion, conceptually, now in real life, with fusion, you can use fusion for propulsion. Theoretically, it's possible if you can sustain a fusion reaction, right? That's the kind of hard part. But you could also use it to generate power. Fusion has multiple uses, just like nukes have multiple uses. You could, take uranium-enriched control rods and then expose them to steam, and that makes, ton of heat, heats the steam drives a turbine. You could generate power for decades without ever refueling a reactor, or you could just blow it up all at once and level a city. Multiple uses. Fusion is kind of the same way. So I firmly believe that there's another set of reactors up here, even though the lore doesn't really talk about it. There are some key clues here. Now, look, if you look at hull segment 5 on this ship, obviously it's very clear that the propulsion systems are back there and the reactors are back there. But if you look at the transition here, we'll call it a transom, I guess, between hull segment 4, which is your that's the main habitation area, right? And then into hull segment 5. Hull segment 5 has a lot of extra armor plating on it. There's tons of armor plating back here because you don't want to blow up your engines. You don't want your engines to get hit by something and explode. You don't want to quote unquote ammo rack the ship. Probably bad for it, right? Hey, Bio, tier 2, 78-month resub. Thank you. And obviously you have auxiliary propulsion systems. There's retro thrusters back there for slowing down. We know about orbital mechanics. We know all about that. I'd be a little concerned about the engine exhaust hitting the turret, but whatever. It looks like it's thrust vectorable, so it's fine. Right? EJ, I love the BF6 gameplay on Friday. I'm really sad you didn't stream it here. That was just me forgetting to hit the go live on YouTube button. But I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, we had some ups and downs that night, but it was fun. We did really good. The helicopter, man, Bean, dude, that guy can fly, man. He's welcome back here anytime. I hope he comes back. But maybe the cannons can retract. I don't think the cannons can retract, Chief. My guess would be that this is vectorable control. Look at the thrust. Look at the nozzle. It's definitely vectorable. They can push the exhaust out to the sides. Think azimuth thruster, but in space. Kind of the same idea. So if you look, like the way that this is all designed, it has gnarly armor plating on it. It's one of the chunkiest parts of the entire ship, right? If we just look at it over here, you can clearly see that there's gigantic armor plating back there because you don't want something hitting your main propulsion reactors. Now, if you look at hull segment 4, it's not exactly built the same way. It doesn't have that excess armor plating going all around it, right? It's just kind of, these are the windows on the ship. There's your docking bays right there. It doesn't necessarily have extra armor plating. There's armor plating up here where there's weapon systems. The pillar has a VLS in it. I say vertical launch system, so it has rocket launchers up here in hull segment 4 on the top part, on the higher decks. On hull segment 4, you have point defense turrets and missile launchers right there. And that does have the armor plating. It has a lot of armor plating. There's basically a torpedo belt here or something similar. Basically, something is going to hit this and it's going to melt the armor, but it's not going to melt the part of the ship that you need, right? But the way this armor scheme is done is very different than the back of the ship. The back of the ship has all this extra armor plating on it because it's the engines. Now, what originally keyed me in that there might be more reactors up in here is two things. If you look at hull segment 3 is not built like 4. Hull segment 3 is built in a very similar manner to hull segment 5. Look at it. It's got a ton of extra armor plating and it's got there's open vents here. Like if you see, there's big slits in the side of the ship, right? Just like there is on the back of the ship. That tells me that either some 3D artist wanted to make this look really visually appealing, so they added a ton of parallax, which is possible. That's entirely a thing. Or if you look very closely at this, there's a cylindric structure right in here and there's a cylindric structure right there. That tells me that there's twin reactors in here. There's 2 reactors right there, coupled with the extra armor belt system here for hull segment 3. There's another set of reactors. Those reactors power the ship and the cannon. These reactors, the tri-reactor that they talk about in the lore, is for propulsion. It specifically mentions that it's for propulsion in the lore. Now, once again, I know people are going to look at this and be like, bro, you're taking this way too seriously. Well, yes, I decided to build a 1-to-1 scale Pillar of Autumn in a factory building game. Do you think that I would have a normal resolve when it comes to this? Yeah, that's what I thought. Think before you think, or something. The second part of that is why I think there's another reactor. In one of the levels in Halo, particularly the last level, now this is an overlay of the wireframe of the ship with the actual level. It doesn't conform to the ship's exact size. The level goes outside of the wireframe of the ship. But it doesn't matter. In one of the levels in Halo, you start at the main bridge, or at least near it. The main bridge of the ship is in Hull, at the forward part of the lower, so it would be the nadir, forward nadir of Hull Segment 2, which nadir and zenith are top and bottom in ship terms. We borrow that from spaceflight. So in the level, you have to get to the ship's fusion reactor, or at least one of them, and you have to destabilize it for reasons. If you've never played Halo, just for reasons. If you play it, you'll go and figure it out. I don't necessarily want to spoil things. Long story short, in the lore, in the game, well, not even in the lore, in the game, there is a reactor, at least a small one, that's not far from the bridge. And what's right next to the bridge? So the bridge is right there in Halo, right? The nadir of Hull Segment 2, right? And Hull Segment 3 is right there. That is about the distance that you walk in the level, like in one of the levels in Halo 1. It's about the right size, give or take. And that tells me that the reactor is... There is a reactor in close proximity to the main bridge. And then in the game, they talk about if you destabilize this reactor, it's going to do things to the ship to make sure that it doesn't exist anymore. This is the type of neurospicy detail I like to consume. Go big or go home. Yeah, damn right, right? Like, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. I would imagine the turrets have a good amount of armor to protect them from the thrust. Yeah, probably. They probably could take it. In Halo, they have something called Titanium A armor. It's like it's a titanium-based super alloy. That's what this armor plating is. The enemies in Halo use plasma. They have a plasma-based energy system, and they basically shoot out molten plasma at the ship, and the Titanium A can tank it. Only to an extent. So... The game says, in Halo 1, there is a reactor. It's not the main reactor, but there is a reactor that's close to the bridge. That and Hull Segment 3 looks like it holds reactors because it has way more armor plating than Hull Segment 2 and 1. Its armor plating scheme is very similar to Hull Segment 5. So that tells me there's 2 reactors up there. Now, why am I telling you all this? That is my impetus for having to redo the entire front of the ship. Hull segments, Hull segments 1, 2, and 3 I didn't build them right. They won't fit. Now, they won't fit the reactors in there. And I'm going to redo them to house the reactors. No, Lumprod, I'm good. Are you starting this over or just continuing from before? Continuation. I'm not starting over, no. So, long story short, I have to refit Hull Segment 3. I have to refit Hull Segment 3, 2, and 1 to accommodate that big reactor core. It's not off by a lot. It's just a little bit. And that's where that coupled with lower viewership, like people were not happy that I had to refactor this. Well, not happy. It's just, yeah, people weren't into it. And that's fine. It's okay. I totally get it. But yeah, up here, you can see I started I started building out where the reactor should be. And I totally have forgotten how to make circles in this game. But that's another story. Yeah, I started deleting components, right? And I started trying to figure out exactly where these reactors need to be. And I figured out that our segments aren't exact. They're close, but they're not exact. Are we going to use nuclear power plants as the power source? Chief, I thought it would be a cool long-term goal to actually make the power harness for the ship. And where the fusion reactors are, put power plants. At least for these two, right? And then build the coupling systems and the cooling coupling systems that you see in the video game around the power plants, so the ship can actually generate power. Like, I will make a power harness for the ship. I think that would be really cool. That would give us a reason to make the utility corridors that you see in Halo, and it would give us purpose for them. So if you look, guys, right here in the even with the docking-based design, I have vertical corridors here. I left this area open on purpose to make the power harness that if we ever do make it, I left room for it. Then where do you keep the plumbus? Well, in your house. That was impressive restraint on Flame Trench, not going off about everything on Halo 3. I think Ryan covers the Halo and sci-fi lore pretty well. Frankly, it's better than me, so I just let him talk. He's a bigger nerd than me, after all. I have my own plumbus. Thanks for revisiting the project. Well, sure. Don't look down. Yeah, if we fall down there, that's game over. The front of the ship is hanging off of a cliff. But that's how it is in the video game, too. If we go back to that picture of it in dry dock, the front of the ship is hanging over the abyss. So, you know, I definitely did that on purpose. You don't need to remember how to make circles. You have the blueprints ready. I'm not sure if I have my blueprints loaded. I have not been storing my plumbus at your house. No. Oh, yeah, Dean, I remember that. I remember, yeah, quit looking down. No, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Halo loser alert. Today, Halo Command has put in an order for 8 ships and has given EJ's shipyards 4 months to make them. No, I'm good. No, I mean, not saying anything negative when the... Oh, that's right, X-Wing. Hey, look. In a professional environment, dude, if you don't have anything nice to say, shut the hell up. There's ways to be a jerk, and there's ways to not, you know... Like, yeah, if you don't have anything nice to say, just stop. But yeah, man. No, I love Halo. Like... I like 1, 2, 3 ODST and Reach. I'm not the biggest fan of... Not the biggest fan of the newer Halo games, if we're going to be really honest. I've talked about it. Ryan was very vocal about it. The reason why, guys, is... The newer games were not done by the guys that wrote the script for Halo 1, 2, 3 ODST and Reach. You know... Me, I'm extrapolating design parts because the whole ship isn't entirely fleshed out, right? Not every single critical subsystem on the ship isn't going to be, you know, explained in the game. But when the original Bungie developers, it's Frank O'Connor, Joseph Staten, and a couple of other guys, when they made Halo, they didn't just make one game and then kept adding to it. They had a script. They had the entire story all written out. Basically all the way to hit the end of Halo 3. And then on top of that, they had book adaptations for filler periods in between the games. Long story short, when they made Halo, they wrote out the entire Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach, Halo Fall of Reach, Halo First Strike, Contact Harvest, which are books now, and then Ghosts of Onyx. They had all those. The whole thing was written out. It's called the Halo Bible. They wrote the whole thing. And then they made games based off of it, which is a good way to do things. So a lot of the lore for the game is really well fleshed out and really well explained because of this. And that's what made the original Halo games so good. Now, when Bungie started making Destiny, and when Microsoft turned over the Halo intellectual property to 343 Studios, right? They didn't necessarily go off of the Halo Bible. They just kind of winged it and then wrote the story as they made new games, and it's not nearly as good.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, it's not nearly... Frank O'Connor, that's it. Yeah, it's not nearly as good, man. They're okay games, but you can tell that they didn't really... It's very blatantly obvious that they didn't really necessarily go back and read the Halo Bible or bother to kind of think about the events of the past couple of games. Like, it's pretty obvious to tell that the people that made Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, etc., didn't really play the original Halo games. Nor did they, let alone the story. Maybe they played multiplayer a little bit. It's pretty obvious to tell. Like, you could tell. Because there were certain decisions made with the Halo 4 storyline and the Halo 4 campaign that make no sense. They go against the lore. Think about it like Star Wars. You can tell which movies George Lucas wrote and directed, or just wrote. He didn't direct some of the original movies. You could tell which movies George Lucas wrote, and you could tell when it's not George Lucas's writing. It's very obvious to see that it's different people, right? It's very, 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 very easy to spot. Halo's the same way. They essentially did to Halo what happened to Star Wars. Same idea. It was really written by people that didn't bother to go and read the Halo Bible, and like, it's not to say that the people that are working on Halo don't love Halo X-Wing, which is why I wasn't being a jerk. There's no need to be a jerk. In a professional environment, once again, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Like, that's just not right. You don't do that. And if you do have, issues with stuff, don't do it in a public setting. You don't air out your personal grievances when somebody's giving you a compliment. You know what I mean? Hey, Source, what's going on? So, yeah. We were talking about Halo, and there was a viewer in Flame Trench that was like, dude, I work on Halo. That's awesome. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, brother, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I don't like the new games. That's a messed up thing to say. All I said was, look, I didn't have a picture of Superman on my wall growing up. I didn't have a picture of, like Michael Jordan. On my wall growing up in my room, I had Master Chief, Gordon Freeman, and Neil Armstrong. So, like, that was my childhood, Master Chief. Master Chief doesn't give up. I don't give up. I'm persistent. And that gets you far in the world if you're just persistent. I mean, look at Elon. Just be persistent. Just keep doing it. You'll get it. You'll find something eventually. You just got to choose where to be persistent. That's the real question. But that's getting into Phil's philosophy and stuff. But yeah, you know, Gordon Freeman didn't give up. He doesn't even talk. He didn't give up. Master Chief talks a little bit. He didn't give up. Mr. Freeman. So wake up, Dr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes. So, you know, yeah, I'm just saying, like, look, I had a poster of Master Chief on my wall. I still have the poster. I actually think it's back here. I still have the poster. Yeah, there it is. I forgot I brought it up here. Brought it up here over the weekend. Here it is. I found this in a GameStop dumpster after Halo 2 came out. It's all beat to snot. It's all wrinkled up because somebody crumpled it up and threw it in a dumpster. I found it and I framed it. I brought it up. I brought it up from my house over the weekend to show you guys this. I forgot that I did that. There it is, man. This is the exact poster that 12-year-old, well, not 12-year-old. This would have been Halo 4, so I would have been 16. This is the exact poster I had on my wall. When I started streaming, dude, this poster was right next to me. It's been with me the whole time. You could de-wrinkle it? No. It's poetic if you know about Halo. The poster should be beaten up. Master Chief can take a beating. It's fine. Some of my studio lights are making it tough to see, but... Yep. Still have it. Still got the shovels. I do believe I have my Gordon Freeman poster around. It's somewhere around here. I gotta go find it. But it is around. I had that one framed as well. Sir, permission to leave the station to give the Covenant back their bomb. Yeah, if you know Halo, Tessa, that thing should be beaten up. Yeah, I found it. Found it in a trash can, dude. But yeah, that was like, I didn't have Michael Jordan. I had Tom Brady. That's another story, though. Poster Tom Brady up on my wall. But yeah, I had, in my room, I had Master Chief. Master Chief, Gordon Freeman, Neil Armstrong. I had a picture of John Grunsfeld because my mother met him at some point in business travels, which is cool. But that's another story. How did you decide the scale of the structure that supports from the example image into Satisfactory? Is there a framework process for that? User, what do you think? You think I just winged it? Hell no, dude. I tried to learn as much about Halcyon class cruisers when I first was preparing for this project as humanly possible. Halcyon class cruisers are made out of that honeycomb design. It's octagonal, big octagonal balls. Like that. So we derived structure from this. The structure is derived from the spars going through the hull decks and how many hull deck segments there were from top to bottom. That's how I extrapolated that size originally. Later, and this is the reason, part of the other reason why hull segments 1, 2, and 3 aren't exactly right, is a viewer lent me this model, or a viewer gave me this model, and I put it into Maya and I scaled it to the exact size that the Pillar of Autumn is in lore. It's 1,170 meters long. It's a big ship. That I revamped all my hull segments and the octagonal ball design to work with the scaled model. Like I have my Mark 1, these are the Mark II hull segments here. Or not Mark II hull segment, Mark II corridors. Like if you look, these are the corridors that I was using to build the interior parts of that ship. I made a Mark I corridor over here, which is just slightly different. It looks similar, but it's not exactly the same. I'm surprised EJ doesn't have a Gene Kranz poster. I have Failure is Not an Option and Flight by Chris Kraft. Or, well, I still have them, but yeah. These are the Mark 1 hull segments. These proved to be a little bit too wide for the design. Because, yeah, we derived it from the spars. And then I use these Mark 1 hull segments for color palettes to paint everything to get the right feel. That looks like the interior of the pillar to me, right? If you've played Halo, you know, you jumble it up with cargo and supplies and whatnot, it looks correct. You had Senna, Mika Hagen, and Gordon Freeman, Ezio Auditore, and a Halo poster that didn't have Master Chief on it but had the ring on it. That's pretty cool. You getting ready to play MCC. Nice. Load a blueprint. See, that's my problem. This is a cloud save, but the blueprints are on the other computer. I'm going to have to go get them. I have all the hull segments out on the other computer. But it looks like blueprints are saved locally, which is fine. But yeah, the last thing that I really worked on was the elevator segments. They built a prototype elevator segment in the ship right here. You mean the streaming PC? Something like that, yeah. See, I left all kinds of notes everywhere, just in case I... Yeah, see, do not delete this deck spacing marker. Yeah. Hey, Shazbert, what's up? See, I even tried to make the elevator shafts look like the one that you encounter in the last level on Halo 1. They're kind of an octagonal design as well. But we don't have an octagonal elevator, so I put Satisfactory's elevators inside of it. But it's close enough.
Fix-It elevator, here to lift you up and to let you down.
Right. But yeah, user, that's how I did that, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to make the elevator go all the way up there later. But yeah, I have my the dock level spacing that... So, it's levels above the hangar deck. That's where I kind of derived this from. Because on ship design, you have decks and you have levels, and it depends on what denotes a deck or a level. Like on an aircraft carrier, you have decks below the flight deck, and then you have levels above the flight deck. So, I picked the part that launches the air wing, and I made that our quote-unquote flight deck, and yeah. See, I have spacers to denote where everything kind of finds its home. Like, those spacers correlate to this. Correlate to the amount of decks that are below the main. So you have your flight deck. Flight deck would be one of these. See how these two levels are in the square? Right there? In the square hole. Right? Go back over to Satisfactory. Right, and we go up to the right level. See? Level 2 and level 3, right there, are in the square. See what I'm talking about? That is those, right? So that's level 3, level 2, level 1, deck 0, which is the flight deck, right? And then you go down from there. Like, I paid very, very, very specific attention to how the spars are set up, the through spars on each deck, the structural octagonal design of the ship. Yeah, I compiled as much data about this as I possibly could. And actually, there's a better picture of the reactor. Look, this is the level where you go to your... It's called main engineering. Main engineering. That would be main engineering for the power harness for the ship. Right? And look where it is in relation to the bridge. It's exactly inside of hull segment 3 in the lower part. This is specifically a cooling duct channel for the reactor, so it's right in front of where the reactor would be. I was looking for this a little bit earlier. Now you can see that the levels in Halo they're built in the same way. They're built the same exact way that I've figured out how to build them. You have hallways and corridors, and what Bungie kind of did is just, you know, make one hallway and corridor. You want to make a level fast, you just checker it all together like Legos, and then you furnish it. Now, once again, this level is too wide. It goes well outside of hull segment 2 to get to the life pod hatches. So we're going to have to take some creative liberties with where stuff should be located. But for the most part, it all fits in the ship. For the most part. Like the mess hall, the hull segment 2 forward armory right there. That's going to be outside of the ship. We're going to have to modify it a little bit and put it behind the mess hall. Cryo B. Once again, there's Cryo B here, which suggests that there's a hull segment 2 Cryo A, which I'm going to go ahead and guess is probably up here. And then you have your main engineering. With this main engineering thing, Cortana says in the level that it will cause a chain reaction that'll blow up the main reactors, which tells me that this main engineering bay is not your main reactor bay. This is main engineering for power systems, and that there is another reactor up here for the cannon. If you look at it, it makes perfect sense, but they never really talk about it. But I'm just, yeah, I tried to come up with as logically concrete reasoning for there being a main engineering cooling shaft in the forward part of the ship when there's no reactor in the forward part of the ship, right? Or at least they never talked about it. Shorten the hallway lengths. Something like that, Shogun, yeah. So, yeah, that's where we were at with the project. And then there's the elevator shaft. The elevator shaft we discerned is in hull segment 3. It couples into hull segment 4. If you see, there's elevator V1269, right? And that is the port side elevator at the forward part of hull segment 4. So elevator V269, that's the starboard elevator right there. Elevator V269 should be right here. Exactly where it is in the video game. At the forward part of hull segment 4, on the aft end of hull segment 3, right next to the main reactor, the main engineering, main power engineering reactor. It makes sense. Like, Bungie did their homework, man. And that's what I mean. That's what I mean about the old Halos versus the new Halos. Do you think they'd put that much thought in? No. You only put this much thought into something you really freaking care about, and all this lore and stuff really comes through, and it's what makes the game good. That's what makes old games really, really good. They did it for the love of the game. Do you do engineering as your job, or is this self-taught via gaming? User, my main thing that I do on this stream is teach people about aerospace engineering. In terms of aerospace engineering myself, I'm self-taught. I like to tell people that I'm not an engineer, but I play one on Twitch. I'm fluent in engineering. I know how to speak engineer. It's not my native tongue, though. Okay, Tar. Yeah, I teach people about aerospace engineering. I know a lot about how real rockets fly in space, con-op, systems engineering, spaceflight architectures, landers, rovers, probes, human-rated spacecraft, the space station, space shuttle. You want to learn about that? I can teach you about that. That's no big deal. Hey, Jet Route, the city's on the calendar this week. Yes. But yeah, man, not an engineer, but I got a lot of people fooled. But I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not trying to fool my way into being an engineer. I just like engineering. And I really like making good, cool content out of it. That's all. But yeah, we have to get in and redo these hull segments just slightly. But yeah, I see I built out the pad for elevator 1269 right there. And then I built the port side elevator here, which just, I guess we'll call it elevator 1270 or something. Yeah, dudes. I shelved the project in April of 2025. I'm not going to say I got burnt out. What I tell people is that I was fully prepared to finish this. I was fully prepared to sit here for 8 hours a day for the next however many months and do it. Now, I'm not necessarily sure we're going to work on that. We're going to power grind it out, but I do have a lot of projects. I got to get the Coronet running. Like, it runs. I have to get it rolling. That's super important. I don't want to let a project car sit in my garage for 10 years again. Right? That's really high on my priorities list right now. Honestly, I think this is more impressive than the average job. It's hard lining up passion with employment. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks, user. That means a lot, dude. Look, I'm not about to go here and be like, well, look at all this work that I do. I like letting my work speak for itself. I don't really advertise. Up until very recently, I have a huge problem with self-advertisement, but I'm good now. We're good now. Like, I have no problem showing off my work confidently and telling you what I'm all about. But yeah, I would like to pursue this project in the future. Dean, I won't look down for you. But it starts with building out a wireframe of the ship and making sure that your dimensions on the wireframe are correct. Now, I don't think I'm going to completely disassemble hull segments 1, 2, and 3. Probably not. I already have the structure built out here. The honeycomb structure is built out correctly all the way out to here, and I'm not going to change it. Yeah, Space OSHA. We don't want Space OSHA to show up. SPOSHA will get you. Sorry, Dean, I looked down. But yeah, that's, I know what I'm about, son. I've been hearing nothing but people wanting to see this project come back a lot lately, so look, the right way to say this, and I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody into watching. You watch the content that you want to watch, but if you're into this project, you gotta let me know. Like, and the best way to let me know is just watch. Like, if you want to put me on background, that's fine with me, dude. I need people. Like I said, I was fully prepared to sit here for 6 months and build this thing out. And I could still do it if I really wanted to. One thing with content is that, like, obviously I have to do it, you have to make a living, etc., right? But I don't want to bore you to death. Yeah, that's the guy. Here, let me jump down. I'll show you. And I built the dry dock port for Reach. I haven't built the umbilical arms and everything yet, but I have the wireframe and the superstructure of the ship basically all done. We want you to finish the project so we can start working on the 1-to-1 steam locomotive. Oh, God. I like cranes and trains, too. Yeah. Hey, Dillbot, what's up? Yeah, like, I don't want to sit here and say, you know, I shelve a project because nobody cares. Like, you got to let me know. And the numbers don't lie. If people don't want to watch, people don't want to watch. They figure out something else. Like, I don't take it personally. But there is a lot of love for this project. I can clearly tell. Like, gotta give me that watch time, dude. That's like I said, that's about as close as you're ever going to get to me saying, like, please watch. If you want to support this content, you gotta let me know. And the watch time is a pretty damn good indicator of letting me know. That's all. I would love to finish this, dude. I'm prepared. Once again, I could sit here and finish it if we really want to. I could do it. How much you love trains? I'm surprised you haven't tried Railroader. In good time, man. My work has me in and out of the office often. The way you do projects like this, the cars, it's nice to check in and see the progress throughout the day. Right on, man. Okay, Bert. Good to know. Okay, Smarsh. Smarsh became flight controller for 2 months. Thank you. How many meters is this from front to back? The entire ship is 1,170 meters long, 1.17 kilometers. Bungie is obsessed with multiples of 7. That's the other thing. There's a lot of cool mathematical quirks in Bungie's games. Like the ship is the same number as Master Chief's call sign, which is Sierra 117. Like 343 Guilty Spark, 2401 Penitent Tangent, which like there's yeah. Bungie's obsessed with the number 7, or at least old school Bungie was. I don't know how it. Yeah, like a lot of the numbers in Halo are all multiples of 7, which is, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that's the guy, exactly. And that little kind of care and those cool Easter eggs, and it's just, like, I'm not trying to be like, back in my day. It's just something I don't think you really get with games nowadays. The games are good, but yeah. I mean, you want to make $1 billion franchise. You're not doing it because you want to make money. You got to do it because you love it. It's just like streaming. Yeah, the lore itself. I was telling the guy, that's what I was telling people about. All the books in the entire Halo Bible, if you know Halo, was written before they even made a game. They had the whole story figured out. And then it was just execution from there. Man, did they do that. So, you know, with this build, I just don't want to be like, man, Pillar of Autumn. All right, I made it, done. I'm going to try to make it to the caliber of tier that I think Frank O'Connor would do this project. Meaning, not half-assed. Nothing half-assed. If you do a big project, don't do it every day. Spread it out. Yeah, we could start by working on this once a week. Maybe on Mondays we make it our thing. It was a couple of guys that wrote it. It was primarily done by a gentleman. The Halo Bible was written primarily by a guy named Joseph Stanton. Yeah, he wrote the entire Halo story out in 1999, in 2000, and then they started making games. I know very little of Halo. I was a cool kid, unfortunately. No, it's all good. Should I start by playing the games? Yeah. Vert, just like Star Wars, play Halo chronologically in terms of release. So play Halo 1, and then go and read the books if you really want to. That's what I would recommend. Play Halo 1 first. Then read Fall of Reach, which is a book by Eric Nyland. Then read Contact Harvest. And then Halo First Strike, and then Halo 2. Actually, you could read Halo The Flood if you really wanted to. The Flood is a book about everything that's going on in Halo 1 that's not in Halo 1. And then read Halo The Flood, and then read Halo First Strike, then play Halo 2, then play 3. I mean, actually, you know what, dudes? Now that I'm really thinking about it, it might be better to play it in chronological order, canonically, rather than release. Now, release would be better. Do it like Star Wars. Watch, with Star Wars, you watch the original trilogy first. Last, please. What's up? Yeah, play it in order that the stuff came out. Yeah, so play Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach. If you're not interested in the books, that's the order. That's the order you play. Hellfish, in the cargo bays, what are those windowed portions? Are they just passageways or offices or something? Probably logistics, machinery bays, etc., etc. And just like Star Wars, you ignore the last games. Yeah, Vert, you don't need to play Halo 4, 5, Infinite. Don't play anything. Yeah. Don't play anything past Halo Reach in terms of chronological order. That's when Microsoft did Microsoft things, and yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, Drew. I mean, we could. That's how I did streams during basically when I was doing the most amount of streaming, 2019, 2020, into the pandemic. We had days for games. Yeah, we had a day for cities, and then a day for, at the time it was Summer Card, etc., etc. If we want to throw Satisfactory, Factorio, KSP, obviously, car building, and then, Friday leave it to a toss-up, I'm cool with that. Speaking of Microsoft, apparently Bethesda lost Fallout, and the IP is going to Obsidian. I did hear about that. Yeah. Todd Howard's no longer in control of Fallout's IP. Asha took it away from him and gave it to Obsidian. Yep. So Obsidian has a lot of ex-developers of the original Fallout games on it. Obsidian is essentially what's left of the original studios that made Fallout 25 years ago. And they also made Fallout New Vegas. So if you're a big Fallout New Vegas fan, there you go. And it very much seems like a new Fallout game is in the works. Yeah, spoiled. It's very interesting, right? I really think, Bio, it had a lot to do with Asha going to Bethesda and saying, Todd, what have you been doing? When is the next game you're releasing? And he's like, well, we might get Elder Scrolls 6 sometimes later this decade. And she was like, later this decade. When's the next Fallout coming out? Oh, sometime in the 2030s. 2030s. Oh. Like Fallout is an immensely popular IP, right? And because of the show, everyone wants a new Fallout game. Yeah, we'll work on that. But we update Fallout 76 all the time. And yeah, she was like, nah. Did you import that model? Buxo, I did not import this model into Satisfactory. I measured a 3D model in Maya using the measuring tool, right? So I got a model of the Pillar of Autumn from Reach. I scaled it to the right size, and I've been taking measurements on it. I've been using the measuring tools in Maya, and that is built by hand. I built it, using sub-assemblies, but I made that by hand. Hot take, Fallout 76 is kind of insufferable. Yeah, I think that... Yeah. Fallout 76 should have been attached to Fallout 4, and it should have been an expansion for Fallout 4. That's what it should have been. Believe it or not, the back end behind Fallout 76 is actually super cool. They took Gamebryo, right, which is Fallout's engine, and they spliced it with Quake, they took Quake's multiplayer and made a hybrid Gamebryo Quake multiplayer client, which is actually super impressive. I said it was super impressive at the time. It's not easy to just rip apart engines and combine pieces that you need a la carte, but they did do it. The problem is they released it as a separate game, and it was awful. Gamebryo is showing its age. What? The engine that's from the late 90s that they still use to make video games in 2026? No, come on. Fallout 76 should have been DLC for Fallout 4. Correct. It was originally planned to, William. They didn't finish it in time. Do you know how much content got cut from Fallout 4? It's funny because they, with Fallout 4, you made a Fallout game about Boston and didn't include anything that had to do with the ocean. You notice how the ocean in Fallout 4 does nothing? So, yeah, it's kind of a shame, but, what can the ocean do? Well, Vasia, New England has it's very maritime, because we're on the ocean, dude. Especially eastern Massachusetts, it's very, very nautical themed. The ocean is part of the culture here, dude. Take it from somebody that lives near the beach. You're not going to include a vault that's under the sea or something. Nothing like that. They completely cut any ocean content out until Far Harbor came out. They were about to make Avowed 2 instead of Fallout. They still need to continue to clean house. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey there, how do you like the show? Never played the game, but I like the show. The show was good, man. Yeah, the show was fine. That's very much Todd Howard Fallout, though, and not the original Fallout. The original Fallout was basically an RPG. It was like an RPG in the truest sense of the word, where it's not necessarily about going and shooting things up and blowing things away. It was about talking with different factions, and Fallout New Vegas is very much like what Fallout 1 and 2 are. I have not played, I played Fallout 1 and 2 a lot back in the day. Because when I originally bought Fallout 3, I liked Fallout 3 so much I went back and played them. But the thing about Fallout 1 and 2 is that there's so many different endings, and there's so much, they are jam-packed full of content. I played through them relatively quick, so I've watched a lot of Let's Plays about them since. But yeah, that's what I mean about Todd Howard's Fallout, and then the original Fallout that was made by the guys that invented it. But yeah. Either way, stand by for LLS heading to the garage. All right, Drew. But yeah, that's going back to this project. Yeah, this is I love showing this off, even though it's not finished. I played New Vegas, yeah. I've played every single Fallout since 3 came out. The Ammunition Factory 4. Dude. Chief, what I really wanted them to do, and they never would have done it, was to make a Fallout MMO. So, think World of Warcraft, but with Fallout. Where you could build your own factories and structures, kind of like Star Wars Galaxies. And there would be a market for scrap metal, etc., etc. Right? and do a Bitcoin and make it so you can only scrounge so much, right? And yeah. Like, only put a certain amount of scrap metal on the map so you can build a player-driven economy, right? And then every once in a while, a new section of the wasteland was discovered, right? And you could come up with semi-episodic content for everything. And every time you open up a new expansion on the map, right, it basically becomes a capital infusion into your player-driven market. And that'll make it so newer players don't have to compete with tenured players, right? Like, you can go, when they do a new expansion, right, a new place of the wasteland, you could go and you could scrap different things there, etc., etc. And yeah, you have a player-driven economy that actually uses caps. It's a currency that's backed by bottle caps and stuff. I think that'd be super cool. I love how you made this insane build. Thank you. Fallout 76 was, yeah, it was a half-assed MMO element. That's what they were trying to do, but they were trying to do it without actually making an MMO. That's the problem. It's all instance-based, which is instance-based MMOs work in certain contexts, right? Like, with World of Warcraft, with like Blackrock Mountain, etc., UBRS, it works in certain circumstances. It doesn't really work with whatever the heck they did, I played 76 once on stream, and I was like, this is awful. And I get it. Oh, well, it's gotten better. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but I played a little bit of World of Warcraft back in the day. I played more Star Wars Galaxies than I played World of Warcraft, dude. Yeah, Tar. I see the diagrams you got, dude. And then the all the links. Local Halo Net reporting. Cool. Yeah, good reference. How are you going to get that thing into orbit? Well, it's a funny story about that. You don't. They ruined Star Wars Galaxy. Jedi Knight and Holocron grinding ruined Star Wars Galaxy, spoiled. But I still believe that Star Wars Galaxies and making an MMO-based player-driven economy is a genius idea. Star Wars Galaxies is way too ahead of its time. You really fumbled the ball when the TV series they had an increase of 500% that lost all of it in a year. Yep. If I was gonna get into the gaming industry, Bucks, that's what I would strive for. I would strive for an MMO, a sci-fi MMO. I was gonna say kind of like Star Citizen, but not like with player-driven economies. Some cases of instance-based grinding, but what I would really focus on is building out a system. I would probably utilize Unreal 5. See, with Unreal 5, they always focus on building ultra-detailed maps. What I think with Unreal 5, what really makes Unreal 5 good is its scalability. This is in Unreal 5. Look at that. We're crystal clear. And this isn't because of my really nice computer. We were crystal clear in frames on my old computer with this too. Look at how much geometry is in the scene. Right? Like, you have near infinite scaling capability with Unreal 5 because it's so well optimized. And in that regard, if I was going to make, for instance, like if I was going to make Star Wars Galaxies, if I, say I have carte blanche intellectual property to make SWG, like And Lucasfilm was like, yeah, we want to do that. We want to actually make money for a change, not torpedo this entire franchise. Too real? If I was going to do that, I would have entire planets. With Unreal 5. You'd be able to build entire planets. Like you'd be able to explore all of Naboo, or all of Tatooine, or all of even Coruscant, right? Like Starfield? No, not like Starfield. Like, okay, for instance, if you wanted to go visit the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine, you'd have to go out into the Dune Sea. That's not an easy trip to make in game or in the movies. That's out in the middle of nowhere near Jabba's palace, because Jabba's palace is out on the outskirts of nothing because he's a gangster. Right? It's out in the Dune Sea. You're going out into the Dune Sea is bigger than the Sahara Desert in Star Wars lore, right? If you wanted to go out there, that's a trip. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to go to Beggar's Canyon on Tatooine, that's a far way away from Mos Espa. Or Mos Eisley, even. That's a long way. Remember Starbase? Shame that died. Yeah, Starbase was pretty cool. Like, I'd make it so you have to plan. You have to plan if you're going to go do a raiding instance, right? Like, it's not like something that you could just sign up for at Ironforge, right? Like, or Stormwind, right? You know, in World of Warcraft, right? No. Like, that's how I would do it, but I don't know, man. What do I know? I'm just a guy. My name's EJ. My name, yeah. Like, it could be done, dude. And it'd be pretty sick, but it's alright. Dasta guy, this computer is a Ryzen, what is it? A Ryzen 9950 X3D, 96 gigs of RAM, and I have an RTX 5080. That's all good, man. Yeah, man. Dude's a millionaire over here. We built this last summer. The community came together and built this computer for me, dude, so I could do stupid projects like this. Yeah. They did it before the whole RAM spike. So, yeah, 96 gigs of RAM, dude. I know, that's no joke. But yeah, what I wanted to do with this is just kind of give everybody an intro to the project if you haven't seen it before. What I think we should do now, yeah, exactly, guy, you know. What we should do now is really figure out, you know, try to pick up where we left off. See, I know that whole segment 3, I remember whole segment 3 is not exactly right. But I don't remember how. I don't remember how it's incorrect. Wasn't it too small? I don't remember. I know they weren't shaped correctly because of the note that I left. But honestly, spoiled, the note that I left doesn't really provide enough context because I honestly didn't think that we wouldn't be playing the game for, 18 months after I left that message. I'm sure on April 1st, 2025, I knew exactly what was wrong. But that was 18 months ago. Or it was a long time ago. Time to watch the VODs. That might be a good idea. It might be a good idea to do off stream, just so I can get context. Did you say they released the X3D2? No, but that's cool. Yeah, this thing deserves to be finished, dudes. The last VOD. I have it up, dude. Alright. It's just a pain to go and get it because the Satisfactory doesn't play nice with Synergy. Alright, let's go down memory lane here. So basically, this corridor would switch to super wide corridor, and then maybe smaller corridor junctions offshooting here. Funny, EJ in the VOD looks older. Don't worry about that. Windows on the bottom. That part of the hull segments are going to be open, dude. Right? So Raiden. Raiden
where I put those windows is like right there. See what I mean? So, we'll have windows on the ship. It'll look cool. And they'll be on either side. And then you'll be able to look out and see the
open hull.
The unpressurized cargo loading area here. Yeah. That's what this thing is.
Cool.
Dude, to think I was gonna make that stairwells. That would have sucked. This is way cooler.
Yeah, that's when we put the elevator in.
With this. I am very.
I did not model that. It's ripped.
Very happy that they.
All right, let's go back a little ways, or let's go forward a little bit.
You can have any sub you want.
As long as it's a Corona.
As long as it's your favorite. I don't know where I was going with that, dude. I'm very preoccupied today, dudes. Got a lot going on in real life. Don't worry, it's not so bad.
Oh yeah, don't you worry, man. It gets worse. Oh boy, past EJ. Oh, I got a lot going on. Yeah.
You can have any sub you want as long as it's black. Wait, no. That would suck.
Hour 13 is where you make the sign. Let's just go right before that then.
I don't know what the heck's going on with that.
Is the VOD volume low?
You mentioned all the segments without armor because you weren't sure how you were going to make the armor. And yeah. And I think because I did that, especially around this area where the Shiva nuclear launchers are, those are basically ICBMs. Well, they're not ICBMs, they're just nukes. Those are nuclear missile launchers. Where those things are, this thing came out all completely wrong. We gotta redo. Yeah, I gotta redo segment 3. At the very least, we gotta redo segment 3. It's the right length. It's just not the right size. It's not the right width.
Pick your fighter. I swear we're playing Satisfactory. I swear.
The good thing is that the top of hull segment 4, we can get away with hollowing out a good segment of it for the missile batteries. For the, I would call it a VLS, but it's a spaceship, so that's not really a thing. But
Hey, I said that today. I said that in this VOD. I remembered something. Yes.
and then up there is going to be a lot of Mac cannon. So cool. All right, so the next time we do this, next time we play, we're going to mess with hull segment 4.
Oh dear. It's almost like I knew. So just context here. I am watching the last Satisfactory VOD that I did when I stopped working on this project to figure out where I left off.
Why is there a Merlin heading into the high bay?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know. Doesn't look like a Merlin engine to me, but so let's make ourselves a to-do list, Raiden, and we'll get her done. But dude, we got the elevators to work, and I think
No, we won't.
with all the new architectural pieces, vents, fan vents, corner road barriers, the H-beams, that's going to be super useful because that looks more like the hull of a ship
We can do greebles with those.
than the straight painted beams do. Like, we could use those in different spots, which is going to be pretty cool. Leave a big sign. That's exactly what I was thinking, yes. I should have done this the last time we played.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Okay, now I'm gonna pop back in over here. Yeah, it doesn't play nice with synergy. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Dan. Yeah. All right.
Why not place notes on the sidebar notes area?
You see that? You see me sitting there? My eyes darting back and forth with somebody asks me a question. That means I have no idea what you're talking about. Watch. I'm going to come up with some bullcrap reason for why I don't do that. Either that or I'll just be like, I have no idea what that is. Depends.
What's that?
See? I know me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I was like, I don't know what that means. Oh, I'm doing the same thing. Jesus Christ. I'll do it over here.
Oh, well, that's good to know. All right, guys. Well, hey,
Note how I didn't go any further than that. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And somebody explained it. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do something else.
I'm gonna get us ready for space news. There's a lot of different space news to talk about.
Yeah, there always is, bro. Don't worry about it. One day you should interview yourself? No. So, specifically, I explain why this segment isn't right. I think I do it over here. Let's just go back and look. And yeah.
And I think because I did that, especially around this area where the Shiva nuclear launchers are, those are basically ICBMs. Well, they're not ICBMs, they're just nukes. Those are nuclear missile launchers. Where those things are, this thing came out all completely wrong.
Okay, let's start there. We'll start there. Let's go take a look at where the Shivas should be. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Yeah, knowing yourself and knowing how you're going to react to things, very useful quality to have. This is like watching Eminem's Houdini, beard versus no beard. Alright. Pause that so I don't just magically fall. Let's go back into the Pillar of Autumn scaled. Now, what am I looking for here? Same models, same measurements and everything. So I said that the length is right. The length of 3, hull segment 3 is correct. It's the width that's not correct. And that tells me... Let me take a look. Hey, SVO, what's up, dude? Why not measure the model and compare it against the in-game version? Because I'm doing the last thing that chat suggested to do, which was watch the VOD. Wait, no, that's what you suggested to do, you dolt. Give me a second, man. I'm the one who talks, okay? Mouth shut, ears open. Guys, I got an idea. Why not measure the model and then compare it against the in-game version? You know, that's a really good idea. We should do that. Okay, let's, Sorry. How do you measure and see? This is a newer version of Maya. This is Maya 2026. I love this plan. I'm happy to be a part of it. Let's do it. Sorry. Sorry, that's the guy. Is it bad if I've forgotten how to measure stuff in Maya? Where are the measuring tools? Scale point? No. Length? Okay, so it's two locators and a dimension transform. So let's see, create. Oh, measure tools. Distance. Let's go into this view here. And how about we vert snap a locator? There. All right. So put this into a group, get one locator here. No, go here. Locator. And then get the other locator. All right, so now we can go into this view. We can go into solid view and then vertex snap the locator to that vertice right there on the model, right? And then take the other locator and do the same thing on the other side here. Vertex snap. 164.4. The 82.2 to the center line, 164 plus 50 plus 32, right? 82.2. So we should be 82.2 meters from the outside of the Shivas to the center line of the ship. I have the center line of the ship made. So, I know where the center line is. Here's the center line. So that's 40. A little bit of a pucker moment there. That looks right. So what I'm going to do next with the locators is go in here and I want to measure the length or the width of just one of the Shiva launchers. So vertex snap right there. And that gives me a 26 meter width on that. So all right, so that's where the outside wall of the missile launcher should be. Now what we got to do here is make a beam off this and measure 26 meter inward. Yep. There's your problem. Too wide. Found it. HS3 is too wide. Hull segment 3. It's just a little bit too wide. By a couple of meters. It's not much. Should be not too hard to fix, but there we go. I'm really happy I thought of scaling it to the model. That was a really good idea. Yeah, I know. I'm glad I thought of it, Drummer. No, that... okay, all seriousness, no. That's a good idea, and that's ultimately probably where I would have ended up. But, I like to explain the context of what we're talking about, just in case future EJ wants to go back and look at this VOD. Hi, future EJ. And understand what the hell we were saying. Hey, Envy. Hope Bree and Titan are doing well. I was going to ask, do you play BF6 every Friday? Because I love the gameplay VOD. Watch it back multiple times over the weekend. Really? Usually, we might do something different this Friday. I'll get back to you on that. But sometimes I play Battlefield at night after Space News. I'm not going to do it tonight, guys. There's no after hours tonight. I want to spend some time with Bree. I know. I actually like spending time with my wife. I know. I'm weird. I get it. But yeah, sometimes after Space News, we'll probably do it once or twice this week. Play some BF after hours, because yeah, I really like the new gun patch and how the game plays nowadays. Maverick Mike, you got an interview in a couple weeks with Blue as a structural tech on the lunar lander. Hell yeah, dude. Best of luck. Also, since Zach's finally cool in the office, Titan may actually want to visit more. Yeah, dude. Oh, also, yeah, the temperature has not changed in here. It's maybe gone up just a smidge, just a little bit. But yeah, the temperature hasn't changed while we've been putzing around with this. That was the whole purpose of today. I wanted to load up a game that's known for generating copious amounts of heat because I power play. But yeah, NV, thank you for asking. Everything's fine. We're good. But yeah, there you go. We figured out that whole segment 3 is just a little bit too wide. It's not... Honestly, that's not that big of a deal to fix. I'm not 100% sure why I thought refactoring it, the entire thing, was a good idea, though. But, see, at face value, we figured out that it's too wide, but past me wouldn't say to refactor the entire hull shape unless it absolutely needed to be refactored. There was something else. I'm pretty damn sure there was something else wrong with this thing. As long as Battlefield Night isn't on... Oh, no, Thursday is no games on Thursday. We are going straight... Yes, straight Starship coverage. Thursday, just blank Thursday out for video games. That's probably not going to happen. Exactly, J-Speed. Yeah, we have a nested problem. Width isn't the only issue here. What we're going to have to do is go back into the VOD even more and talk to past EJ even more and figure out how I discerned that was an issue. Let me go back to... I'm looking around, scrubbing through the thumbnail, seeing... Okay, I'm up working in hull segment 3 in this part of the VOD here. Okay, that's building the elevator, though.
So the way I had this figured out, guys, was I was using blueprints to actually make the corridors. So those the hangar base.
Yeah, we already talked about that. I already explained that this stream. Thank you, past DJ.
That one has... I made the door closed.
I literally said those words verbatim at the beginning of the stream. Cool.
Not fit in the shape. Neither does the last level of Halo 1. They don't... In Halo does not... Oh, this is lower corridor access. The first level in Halo does not fit in the shape.
We knew that already.
Right vibe. Yeah, this is definitely the music from Halo 1.
Do it, drummer.
Raiding the update's good. We got it. Yeah, Baron, watch your language, but yeah, that's a kind of... Oh, yes. Long corridor.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
U.S. Navy style dartboards. But first thing I want to do is replace the doors with the big... that's what they're called.
That's the last thing I did, yeah.
form thing. Yeah, that's saying like try to serve.
All right, I gotta scrub through even more. What the hell was I doing here? Oh, that was the teaser for the elevator. I remember this. Oh yeah, this was April 1st. Yeah, okay, I remember now. That was some April Fool's shenaniganry.
Each display for a bit for the display to understand exactly how many items are traveling through.
All right.
Nice.
I think so, Brandon, yeah. I don't want to go over there. That EJ smells.
No, I just dropped my keys. All right, we're good. I got my keys.
These are right here.
Oh, thank God, that took forever.
Wow. Oh, new cleater.
Well,
All right, never mind. Oh, dude, that screwed with me so hard. I saw the mission control view and I'm like, oh crap, I've been in mission control view this whole it's the VOD. That messed with me a little bit. I'm looking constantly at OBS over there out of the corner of my eye to make sure I'm on the right scene. That's why if I switch to the wrong scene by accident, it's usually only there for a second, right?
those.
That was me messing with the beams. I don't remember doing this. I don't remember screwing around with the new beams.
Did a lot of work on this thing. What? This is a 1-to-1.
Okay, we know what it is. Be quiet.
So yeah, we started doing some work here, but yeah, close. ICU ward is these long corridors. Raiden, it's yeah.
Okay, that was me prototyping out the elevator shaft in blueprints. Making sure the elevator's stackable.
Now the real question is, where do we have room for an elevator like that?
Okay, I cleared that out.
Outers of what?
Nothing, don't worry about it. Alright, so let's go over here, let's skip around. Raiden is a YouTube chatter. Raiden's still around. He just doesn't pop in as often because this is the I stopped working on this project. But he's in from time to time. Raiden was, you know, he helped me a lot with the early project and measurements and stuff.
Will we start plating? Yeah, maybe.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
3-digit month sub club for life. Rarest. What's up, man? 103-month resub from Rarest, Iowa. Thanks, dude. I'm scrubbing around in the VOD to figure out where we left off, just in case anybody's wondering.
Amazing.
It looks like I saw the infinity on there, and I probably said it was stupid.
Also, it's not the Pillar of Autumn, so I don't really care.
See? What? Know thyself.
It's not the pillar though, so
That's dumb.
who cares?
Yeah.
It's like I'm making the Millennium Falcon over here, and you're like, oh, why didn't you make a tuna boat? Because frick tuna boats, man. I wanted to make a Millennium Falcon.
it's very sound logic. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I like this. I think this is good. Catwalk segments, prefab stuff like that is probably what we should put in. It would be.
Okay, here we go. All right, let's watch here. Let's pick it up here and see what
I'm
we got.
thinking there's gonna have to be like a hub, a big hub room here, especially if we're gonna be like right next to the main reactor and stuff. We might need to look around for some reference here to figure out what we want the main elevator room to look like, you know?
That's a cryo bay. Oh no, that was an armory. Yeah, we had Sketchfab and people uploaded this is where I was pulling reference from. No, that's Stationeers, Fluffy.
Does
Different.
Pillar Bottom have any discernible location for escape pods? They're here, but it's abstracted from the ship's shape. Meaning,
Yeah.
if I was going to put the escape pod with all the correct corridors and everything, Sea Kraken, it would be over there somewhere. It would be right here.
Well, what's your bad? You asked the question, dude. Don't worry about it.
So we might need to get a little bit creative. I'm thinking put the escape pod corridor right there. You know, in front of the reactor, and then we could put another set of them right here.
It's a good idea.
Maybe. Once again, the whole front of the ship is going to be a little bit different, right? Because, take a look. Look at the Sketchfab. This is supposed to be...
Hull segment 2.
That's supposed to be hull segment 1. This is hull segment 2, right? The bridge is right there. I leave home for a few days, and look what happens. Right, so this, right, that guy, Sea Kraken, is right there. It's right there. That's where the bridge is. See what I'm saying? We don't really have a lot to play on either side.
What's up,
We
man?
have to fit the bridge, and that's about it. So we might need to get a little bit fancy with how the ship is designed. We could do escape pod corridors like right here, but the thing about that is if we did them right here, they would basically be mirrored to each other. Like, see,
You'd have one hallway.
Corridor
You'd have escape pods on
would be
both sides.
exactly aligned with the escape pod corridor over here. Like, they would share the same corridor. It'd be like one corridor with 3 escape pod hatches.
I actually think that's a really good idea. Why did I veto this? I'm gonna go ahead and guess I talked myself into this. Give me 1 second.
Here and 3 escape pod
We'll see.
hatches
We'll
here.
see. We'll see.
Which, you know, I'm actually not against that.
Know thyself.
Yeah, Leo, yeah.
I was like, that's a good idea. You should do that.
Mess hall style for the elevator hub room. Well, it's got to be 2 stories, so cryo might be a little bit better. Especially considering that it has catwalks, but
Yeah.
let's look at the Pillar of Autumn. Is there any
2-story structures. So the wide corridors are 2-story
hub
structures.
staircase area like this, dude, would probably, Raiden, this would probably, a room like this, a wide, like super wide corridor Like this would probably be our best bet, dude.
I never made the
Only
super
just
wide
don't
corridor
have that
prefabs.
This staircase in the center. You know, we'll put staircases like a catwalk on the side or something. In this theoretical design, like, okay, so that's the super wide corridor. This is 8 meters by 8 meters. So this one would be a 16-meter wide corridor, right? And if we look at the space available here,
We have 16 meter. It's 16
It
meter wide to
actually
the
fits
elevator
perfectly.
shafts.
yeah, make that.
Good call.
Yeah, elevators, Dev. Yeah, man.
That room right there would actually be, yeah, it's a good idea. Look at how locked in past DJ is. It's good. That's
How would large cargo go through, though? Go through what?
I didn't understand what the question was. I know the answer to this question though. The large cargo isn't designed to really go through these elevators. I mean, the elevators in Halo are not necessarily big. Like you put a couple of trucks in them, but there's no elevators in Satisfactory that are going to be big enough to do that. I don't think. I think the Satisfactory elevators are only 4x4. The thing is that the elevator shafts in Halo are way bigger than that. They're enough to drive a truck into, because it's a big ship. So, yeah, let's see what, I don't actually remember what I said here.
If you had catwalks intersecting the tall corridor, well, you're basically at the front of where large cargo for the main deck can go. It basically stops here because the reactor is like right here.
A thing about that is that you're going to need to what's the right way to say it? There's a forward cargo hold on the Pillar of Autumn. It's in hull segment 2. It's below the Mac gun for on-orbit docking. So there's going to need to be some type of large corridor that does go through there. I just don't, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that, but whatever. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
So Seacracken, take a look. So there's the bridge of the ship. This is hull segment 2, right here. You're getting into 3 right here, which means the reactor's right.
It's above
right there.
And I did model those in Maya. I remember now. I modeled basically where that room is. It's right here. We found its approximate position correlative to the bridge using the level. That's how I figured out that distance. And that does, oh look. If you line that up with the large corridor bay where the super wide corridor would be to the elevator shafts, makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's it. The super heavy cargo bay goes to the forward cargo compartment, which is right here. Forward cargo compartment, right? Which is basically what hull segment 2 is. Hull segment 2 is a gigantic cargo hold, and then officer quarters are up here. And then the officer mess is up here, and then the forward armory is up here as well. I would assume that, sitting around the Mac cannon's probably not a lot, probably not a whole lot of anything. But, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. See? Main reactor 1 engineering, and then there's Mac reactor up here. which is, I guess that it's probably an inverse of this. It's probably the cooling pipes probably go down in that room. Either that or it could be just a straight duplicate. But if it was a straight duplicate with the cooling system right here, yeah, no, that would work too. Hmm. Yeah, right? You watching you is spectacularly weird when you come in expecting Satisfactory. I'm trying to figure out where I left off, Starlight. I'm playing Satisfactory, I swear, but I am just legitimately trying to figure out where the heck I left off. I don't know what I was doing. It was a year and a half ago. This is not the VOD, this is me in the game, but if you're watching this VOD, then it is the VOD, so... whatever. But yeah, I did model that, so let's go back to watching past EJ here.
The ship wireframe explains it a little bit better.
Okay, I just literally explained the exact same thing that I explained. Okay, cool.
This highlighted thing is that room, main engineering. So it's coupled to the reactor.
Which is what they say in the
See what
game.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure, Latte. Yeah, we can nest this VOD even
So
more.
basically, this corridor would switch to super wide corridor, and then maybe smaller corridor junctions offshooting here.
Why?
Yeah, the windows on the bottom. That part of the hull segments are going to be open, dude. Right? So, Raiden, where I put those windows is like right there.
Okay,
See
we
what I
already
mean?
we already went through this part.
That would
of
have
the VOD.
sucked. This is way cooler.
Yeah. This is pretty close to the inner monologues, all systems.
Very happy they decided to do this way.
You don't want two of me, Mason. That would be not
It's
great.
going good, Nick. Yeah, it's fine.
Discovery, go at
Hey,
throttle.
Porter. Hey, Porter. 132-month resub. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I know this is weird. I swear I'm playing Satisfactory. I just gotta... That's the other thing we gotta do. I gotta get my whole prefabs. I gotta get all the prefabs in here.
We need small corridor junction, SCJ 3-way.
Super Cobra Jet.
Oh, wait. Let's nudge it.
Is this pre-recorded? No. Yeah, alright. AIEJ, hold up 3 fingers in front of your face. Yeah, alright. I am holding up 3 fingers in front of my face right now. You can see it. 3 fingers. You asked me to hold up 3 fingers. I'm holding up 3 fingers. I'm definitely holding up 3 right now. Definitely holding up 3 fingers.
Are you winning?
There's definitely 4 R's in the word strawberry. There's 2 in the front, and then 1 in the back, and then there's definitely 4.
check the elevator out, dude. Look.
All right. Okay. Oh yeah, you can configure it. That's pretty neat.
Remember the from look what he's got for sale now. Nice.
I feel like we're in Back to the Future 2 right now. Old Synergy, though. Wouldn't be an EJ stream. It's a nice truck. Not bad.
Ah, it's got a similar kit, dude, to Bluefus.
I think Ernok linked this. It's a nice truck.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh. That's... Dude.
Fantastic.
5-speed.
5-speed 4x4.
4x4.
All manual.
That's nice.
That's nice. 8,500? I'm probably about to say that 8,500 is too much. Watch. It's not a
What?
ZF5.
A 4-speed? 4-speed? Hold on. What motor?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, it's got a 460 with a 4-speed. Dude, it's not running a ZF542. That's weird.
It's not weird. It's not weird. Told you.
It's not a Muncie, no. It's probably a...
T19 or a T18.
Oh, what did they put in before the ZF5? A T19?
Whammy! Told you. I know my stuff, man.
Wow.
No factory tack
That's
for
a
a
nice
manual.
truck, dude.
It's not 8,500.
That little thing is a 460.
It's not worth 8,500. Past EJ, damn it! Just get back to Satisfactory.
It's the same exact drivetrain as in Bluefus, except minus the manual. That's pretty sick, or not? Yeah.
It was Ernok.
That's pretty cool.
I freaking knew it. I freaking knew it. That shiesty bastard. If only we could fast forward.
For a 38-year-old truck. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'd pay 8,500 for it, Yarg, but
See?
if it has no rust on it, dude, it definitely would command a pretty damn good price. Those trucks, those box style Fords, man, they don't break.
They don't.
Damn good.
All right. All right. Let's get back to work.
But so
Damn it. Fuck you past me.
here's the thing, though, dudes.
All right. Are
If
we
do
talking
that,
about this again? Yeah. All right. Hey, Chloe. When will then be now? Soon. Soon.
if we do this, let me think. The elevator shaft has to be there. It has to be there, but because it has to line up with the webs.
You can see the smoke coming off my head there. Hey, Kerbal Guy. Anyone know when the bearded EJ video shot? April 1st, 2025.
I'm not sure the staircases are going to play nice with our spacing.
No, they aren't. It's 1 meter too high because we have to double space the decks. See? So if you make the staircase from the top going down, you'll have some staircase overlap, but it'll fit. Yeah. That's fine. That'll work. Just made the railings just look a little weird. The heck did I do that?
Okay, never mind. We're good. Hey, Wendy? Tier 3, 120-month resub.
That's
Thank you.
Windy Skunk. Wendy's still around.
Why does nobody realize how bad a manual gearbox is for your left knee due to clutch action? I've driven a manual for decades. My left knee is toast. 2 of my daily drivers are manual, Murray. I don't know what you're talking about. My knees are just fine.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. Take care of your knees then.
Yeah, we can nudge and overlap the staircases, so I'm actually cool with that.
Okay.
We did have that problem before, didn't we? Yeah,
What problem?
we can nudge and overlap the staircases, so I'm actually cool with that. Yeah, Raiden, we did have that problem before, didn't we? With over here, the staircase.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Parents up.
Cool.
Hey,
All
Kerba
right.
guy.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick, Chubbs.
That's pretty sick, Chubbs. I got one of those bastards' eyes. Tore his eye out. He got my hand, but I got one of those bastards' eyes.
1.1 is pretty good, dudes.
1.2 has since
I
come
like
out,
it.
by the way.
I like all the QOL stuff. You can do a lot of pretty interesting
The
things.
quality of life is superior. Yes.
Goes
Okay.
to the next deck down. Wendy, now I gotta put your logo on one of my rockets. Oh, jeez.
Okay. Reactor. Talk to me, EJ. Yeah, Iger, we got that far. We know the whole segment 3 is too skinny. But I swear there was something
The
else.
first thing we're gonna have to do if we're gonna get serious about this is I need to redo these hull segments a little bit, or at least figure out where the heck I was. We might need to redo the whole front of the ship, at least the outer frame, not the webs. The webs are fine.
Why? Why? Say why, dickhead!
Hey, Fozzie. Can I get a large steak and cheese with onion peppers and a little bit of mayo? 64-month resub?
Yeah.
You can have any sub you want,
As long as it's a Corona.
as long as it's...
Alright, we already been through this. No, you feel you don't explain. Yeah, I get it. I know.
It's a 1-to-1 of the Pillar of Autumn, Joe.
Okay. All right. Get up to the front of the ship again, you putz. There we go. We're moving back towards the front. All right, cool. All right, here we go.
The elevator shafts, that's really... Okay, so if we're gonna do this, let's think about how we wanna get this done.
Yes!
I gotta redo a little bit of hull segment 3.
Yes.
Hull segment 2 might be a teeny weeny bit off, but I
Yes.
don't think that's that big of a deal.
Yes, no, it's not. All right, cool.
If I recall correctly, the reason why these hull segments are off is because I measured them without their armor plating. So what you see
Is no armor
what you see
plating.
with
Got
hull
it.
segment 2 right here. See these beams that we did down here? This edge right there
Is that okay?
is this edge right here. So it's not taking into account the armor plating. I'm pretty sure I did it with we
Didn't do the armor
made these
plating.
segments
We
without
got
the
it.
plating.
Okay.
We could add. We could just add to it. But there was another reason.
Oh, don't tell me you don't know the reason either.
And I'm not 100% sure what it was. I think something with this shape was completely off. Like I didn't get this shape right or whatever.
God, I hate myself so much sometimes. It's just, dude, brother.
Yeah, that is what was going on. See, I added this down here to try and get the right shape.
Okay. The frick was that noise?
Or maybe I didn't. I don't know what the heck's going on with that.
All right, is that still there? Is that doubler, that doubled over piece still there? Is it still there? Where are you? It is still there. It's still there. Hello. Still there. Okay. It's still there. Excellent.
You measured all the segments without armor because you weren't sure how you were going to make the armor. And yeah. And I think because I did that, especially around this area where the Shiva nuclear launchers are, those are basically ICBMs. Well, they're not ICBMs, they're just nukes. Those are nuclear
Discovery,
missile
go at
launchers.
throttle up.
Where those things are, this thing came out all completely wrong. We gotta redo, yeah, I gotta redo segment 3. At the very least, we gotta redo segment 3. It's the right length, it's just not the right size, it's not the right width.
It's just off by the armor plating, though. That's not that big of a deal. That can't be the reason. That can't be the only reason. It was something with the reactor not fitting. I didn't know I was going to switch projects.
The top
Context.
of hull segment 4 we can get away with.
Okay. All right. We got to go backwards. We got to go backwards into another VOD. Go down here. The time I worked on it before that was the 9th of January. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There we go. Oh. Nimitz class carriers. They don't have one. Get very busy. Or else pizza.
Do you have the reactor built and blueprinted? No, I don't, Sappy. I only have shapes. I only have primitive shapes for the reactor, like where the reactor needs to be.
Is gonna send out for you.
Oh, there we go. Look, I'm measuring it.
You're delicious.
You're delicious. Okay, Spaceballs. Yeah, we get it.
Cowboys. Don't mind me. Just.
Oh, I'm minding. Don't
can
you
just
worry.
ignore this part.
Why did I just delete that? Isn't that
I'm
the
a
same?
Mog. Half man, half dog.
I'm my own best
I'm
friend.
my own best friend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Spaceballs. Okay. So I corrected.
Mog. I'm a Mog.
That's not right. What the f... Oh, I did that to get the parallel. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
This is the way.
It is.
Thousands of launches is something I never thought I would say. It's getting crazy. Over the next few years, it's going to get, even crazier. There will be thousands of launches. Yeah. It's gonna be, it's gonna be pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Man.
Narrator. It was, in fact, pretty good. Got a big one this week. Okay, all right, measuring.
What happens if we go default 3 out like that, and then go to a freeform beam, and we do... that mimics the armor scheme right there. That's perfect.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still not the right width.
This will work.
No, it won't. Hey, Red Munchkin. How are you?
That mimics the armor scheme, dude.
No, it doesn't, dickhead! Pay attention!
Fine, dude. I'm gonna tell about you, dude. You ain't no pimp, dude.
No, shut up!
Yes! This should fix most of problems.
It will not! You...
Ah, man. I don't want to play workers.
No! This is insufferable. You know, guys, when you have like a meeting or an interview or something, and you're like, man, I really hope I'm not insufferable. And you go into it, and you're like, yeah, I think I did well in that interview. And then you start thinking about it more, and you're like, nope, no, I blew that one. That's why I didn't get that job.
Guys, I ain't complaining, man. That's for sure.
It's not the right length. That's too long. You ever been to a Turkish bathhouse?
Okay, we probably want to.
That's still not rotated correct. Oh my god!
Instead of lined up to the diagonal.
What am I doing?
Again here. Are you Buzz Lightyear? I love these movies. Oh, jeez. All right, so go down there. There we go. That gets us the armor plating that we needed. We were going to have to do it anyway, but...
My god, why don't you just measure it? Why are we freehanding? I've grown a lot as a person over the last 2 years. Okay?
I got to do it over... We got to put that over there as well, so... You know.
You probably did. And I was probably like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be... No, it won't. You fucking putz. No wonder people didn't watch this. Like, it's tough to watch, dude. You did say streaming makes you dumber while playing this. That's absolutely a thing. God. This is so bad to watch. Just get the matter, you stupid bitch. What?
Connected up there for now. All right, cool. So now that we got the outside armor scheme here, what I'm trying to do is this is a really difficult part. I'm trying to work on the cut right here. See this?
Oh yeah, that's not okay. To be fair, that's not going to be easy to make.
And then that cut goes diagonally backwards, which is difficult.
Okay. Make the diagonal piece, and then make pieces straight off of it, and that intersect through the circle.
Tough to make this shape, but I'm sure we can figure it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure, get our positional ruler again. We're going to measure from here. We're going to snap to, no. We're going to snap to that.
Am I always this bad? This is awful. Dude,
That vertex there, and then get me the other end of my ruler. We're going to bring the ruler up here, and we're going to snap to that guy right there. So, the edge on this side is basically straight for 25 meters, right? So that means we go from here.
Okay, no, this math makes sense. 25 meters up.
And we do
It's gonna round it.
Up to 25. And then get rid of that beam.
Yeah.
That I actually just freaking made. Okay, cool.
Shut up, Element. You don't need to tell me. I need to. It's one of those self-realization things,
gives
okay?
me that point in 3D space there.
Yeah. All right.
We have that point
that's smart.
highlighted there. Now, how are we going to get the diagonal? Remember, it's not
Discovery,
just a
go and
diagonal
throttle
straight back. It's a diagonal straight back, diagonally up the side of hull segment 3.
Yeah, we get it. It goes diagonally, dickhead. We understand that. So measure down from the top. Oh, it's so bad, dude.
Let's go over here, and what I'm gonna do in Maya is do what's called a curve snap.
I guess I'm frustrated because I know, like, I don't know. Like, I knew what I was thinking about at the time, and I'm in the right place, but there's so much easier ways to do this. Like, Past DJ was like, no, I got to figure out the most difficult way to do it and show that on stream instead of just figuring out the easy way to do it. The whole project is difficult. You don't need to make it any more difficult. The whole project is tough, right? Like,
Curve snap basically allows you to attach it to the lines, the wireframe.
okay, that's a good way to do that, but how do you know that that's straight? You have to add an edge.
And if I get this thing more or less flush, it should tell me how far back that length is. Cool. So we're 27
You
back.
can use the channel box to...
All right. Now, I didn't necessarily need that 27 there.
Yes, you
but
did.
What I'm going to do is take the other end of the ruler. So we're 27 and a half.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Let me do it, you... All right. All right, cool. Go in here like this. Go right here. Right? Edge. Now we need the split. We need the split tool. I think it's called the slice tool now. Nope. It's not the slice tool. I don't even know. They renamed it. Why? Oh, it's not going to like that. Maybe the insert edge loop tool will do it. There's no edge flow here. Okay. Yeah, I see what's going on here. But yeah, that's the right idea. Let's just, before I bore you again.
Right? I don't necessarily need that numerical measurement, but I need the distance from this edge up to about the height where...
So just measure
is.
from there back,
So,
dude.
Let's curve snap.
Okay.
Here.
All right. No, this is fine. That's the right way to do that.
Get it more or less close. That's pretty fine right there. What are we talking about? 36 meters up. Okay, so check this out. If we go back with our freeform, back this way.
Should be 27. And then go 36 up from there.
See, we're back 27 meters, just like what we measured. And now we got to go 36, freeforming up here. And I'm just going to put a marker right there.
Okay.
Okay?
No, okay.
Now,
That's a good way to do
that
that.
marker,
That's fine. That's okay.
If we measure forward from here, and we
Okay. Yeah, I see how I did that.
Right
Yeah, all right.
to
That's not bad. I'm not too upset here. I thought I was going to do something different.
It's about 10.5, 10.5 meters.
You can just use 10. That'd be fine.
Let's round it up to 11. That should work.
Well, it goes to 11, mate.
All right, so go here. Okay.
Now make a
Perfect.
diagonal.
Now get rid of this. Get rid of that. That right there gives me my exact point in 3D space where I can make this diagonal. Right?
Yes.
To there.
3950. Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. That was a fine way to do that. That's
Boom.
fine.
We
I
just
thought I was
figured
going to go.
out
I thought I was going to
that
do something different.
complicated shape. Perfecto.
Yeah. All right. What about the rest of it?
Now, yeah, we got that edge figured out. That's pretty good. Now what we should be able to do
Oh yeah,
is
those
connect these
METARs.
points.
Yeah.
This point should line up with one of the spokes on that for the most part.
It doesn't
It
necessarily
does,
have to.
Pretty much. That's pretty damn close. Good. I think our slight discrepancy there is the armor plating because we're off by 2 meters. So that means we'd need to go down. If we went down 2 meters from here, and then we went out, and then we went over this way, yeah, see? There you go. There's your discrepancy. Perfect. It was 2.5 meters.
So
that's because there's an offset on that inherently.
So you're gonna fix it, or?
That's good. Real good. Really good.
No, we won't fix that. Just leave it.
All right,
Fine.
so that means we can get rid of this piece. And we can get rid of that piece there as well. For now.
It's a straight line up from there, dude.
Now what I'm going to do is vertex snap there.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
See how far up that is.
13,449. Okay, so go 13,449 off of that. That's where the discrepancy is. I get it. We're not going to do that way.
Oh, boy.
What did I see? Hold on. Back it up. Okay. The top edge right here is where the plate gets flat. See that? See the top edge? So this piece goes up, and then it kind of angles in. So it's going like this, and then it kind of gets flat. The top of what I saw is that the top of that should be aligned to that, and it's not. It's absolutely not.
Now what I'm going to do is vertex snap there and see how far up that is. 13.
Yep. I noticed. That's not going to work. It's not just a matter of shifting.
Boy.
It's not just a matter of shifting the armor plating out. You need to remake the segment. That's where I figured it out. That tells me that that's in the right spot, but we'll see. We'll see what I figure out. And I hope you enjoy the reaction to the reaction, guys. I am playing Satisfactory. I swear this is pertinent to this project that I'm working on. I haven't worked on this project in over a year. I needed to figure out where I left off, and where I left off was a lot of mismeasurement and a lot of laziness, and I don't like that. That's very aggravating. Still do this, though.
Guys, I made the entirety of hull segment 3 off. The whole thing is off by 2 meters. The whole thing.
Yep.
Top and bottom. It's off. Because I didn't take into account the armor plating. So it's going to be really difficult to make that shape, trying to change everything by 2 meters. Especially up here, when that shape starts to get really complicated because it's a cutout. It's an armor cutout. See what I'm talking about?
You just make them clip into each
That's
other,
going to
dude.
get really complicated.
Go and throttle up.
Hey, snooze. Nope, don't acknowledge the resub, because, yep, that's fine.
Especially when we go to start measuring this thing, the perch up there. There's supposed to be a turret up there. Provisions for the railgun, because the railgun goes through the top of hull segment 3 right there. You see the cylinder? It goes through.
Yeah, we can see it.
So yeah.
So where did I get that hull segment 1 and 2 were off as well? That's what I'm failing to understand here.
It's not a big hull segment, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's not a big deal to freaking redo.
But now I'm worried, because if I took markers for hull segment 2 and 1 off of 3, that means those are off too. I might be able to fudge it a little bit just due to the less complicated shapes here. It's just the complicated shape is what's throwing me off. Normally I would just say screw it and just build it. Oh, the armor's 2 meters bigger. No one's going to notice that. But
Smart.
because of the complex shapes here involved, we might need to fix some things.
Yeah, he's not telling me, Rug, except he just did, but that's okay. We don't. Shh.
Word
Fine.
question. First of all, Happy New Year. Hey, Dio. When you have a big project in mind, are you afraid sometimes?
This is the part where I'm gonna say, no, it's fine. Just take it off one piece at a time. You know. Oh yeah, just bite off a little bit as you could. Yes. Yes. At this point, I am very annoyed that that is off. And I think that coupled with low viewership is what made me say, frick this, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm fairly confident that that's what happened. Knowing me. Yeah, Beadine. That's the way she rose.
Hey,
but...
Snooze, 10-month resub. Afraid? No. No. I love doing these big projects, Dio. This is probably the kind of stuff I would be doing if I wasn't streaming. I would, you know, devote a couple hours a day to having some fun with this, you know?
Oh, would you now?
If I am quote-unquote afraid of anything, I'm afraid that I'm going to bore somebody. Because the kind of stuff that I like sometimes is not very fun to watch.
Fair. That's a fair answer.
You can't force people to watch, you know?
I'm glad you like it, Dan.
Graham, shut Twitch off, please. If I see you again here for the rest of the day, you're done for a week.
Yeah, that guy wouldn't do his homework. I remember that.
That's really... I like doing long projects, guys. I really do. I like doing long-term stuff because I'm in a unique position here as a streamer that gets paid to play video games to be able to do long-term projects. Not everybody can commit to doing something like this. I don't mind committing to a project like this. Dio, my only kind of anxiety in this regard comes from boring you guys because I could sit here measuring stuff all day.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. That makes perfect sense. That's still exactly the same. I literally talked to people about that before this. Yeah. Yeah, Dio, that's Dio Oxygen. Dio's still around. I see Dio from time to time. No, that's right. I don't have any problems with what I just said. That's pretty much correct.
It doesn't bother me. I enjoy it. It's fun. And it's really fun when you get it right. You know,
but we just did
it and making it right, like what we did with the engines. Like, look at those. We were able to figure out new ways to play Satisfactory and make spherical shapes and cylinders in a game that has no business making that complicated of a shape. You know?
But we did it. Now, see, that's right. I agree with Past DJ on that one.
Measuring things with I-beams is what we do. Yeah, exactly.
Kerbal.
You're not wrong. So, I don't get scared of a big project like this. I really don't.
I still don't.
Appreciate your attention to detail. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't,
Okay, you said your piece. Get back to work.
I don't, yeah, no, that doesn't, the scope of the project never bothers me. I like doing difficult projects. It's not boring, you guys. That's what really freaks me out. I noticed that after Thanksgiving, I was working on this project and no one cares. Nobody cared. It was probably just because it was the holidays and stuff, but...
Probably was,
moron. I needed to
Probably
switch it up.
Kept going. Probably should have kept going.
The numbers don't lie, dudes.
That's true.
That's why I basically work on this once a week. But numbers don't lie. It got boring. People got boring. Chat activity went down tenfold. Maybe not tenfold.
It might have something to do with you sitting here staring at it and not saying anything about it for long periods of time. It probably had something to do with that now that I'm going back and watching this, and I hate that that's the reason, but... Probably had something to do with it.
But you get the idea. Yeah, that's the reality.
Discovery.
I mean,
go at
now
throttle.
that is true, but I don't think it's necessarily true in this particular case, fellas. I think if we just remake the outer shell, which shouldn't take very long, that shouldn't be too hard to do, especially because we got measuring tools in a 3D model. Like, why did I think that would take a long period of time? Yeah, that's true, Beating, yeah. Not every minute of the stream can be a highlight reel, that's correct.
Yeah, likes. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
hey,
for
Jim.
everybody, dude, which is fine. It's okay. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I could choose to play a game right now, I'd probably go play Workers. That factory that we built out yesterday was pretty freaking cool.
There's the truth.
pretty damn proud of that. But I'm also pretty proud of this, too. Yeah. But, see, here's where I'm at. And you guys tell me if I'm convincing myself. I have to redo Hull Segment 3. Hull Segment 3 was not measured adequately for the complicated geometric shapes here. Like, this basically proved it. Because I have to go up 13 meters from this edge. We have to go 13 meters this way. 13 meters gets me over there.
So?
And then...
Okay. I didn't want to work on this. I wanted to play Workers. That's what happened. That and low viewership, too.
From that 13 meters, right? From that 13 meters, I have to go there. And then that's a flat piece right here. And this flat piece...
So just make it,
should
dude.
be happening all before you get to the straight side of the ship. See the straight side of the ship where these are nuclear missile launchers. They're
You already said
missile
that.
silos, basically. They launch Shiva nuclear missiles. And see the flat part of the ship right there?
I convinced myself. That's annoying. That's annoying. I don't like that. Does today EJ want to play Workers? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I played Workers pretty much all throughout like 2024. And yeah, I'm good. Hey Def, what's up, dude? See, at this point, guys, I pretty much, in my mind, I resigned this project to exactly what I said. That it's not getting viewers. We're in the dip, right? But the thing is that the dip with any project happens. If you're going to introduce long-term, long-format content in, there's going to be a lot of people that are interested at the beginning. And the only way you're going to recoup your losses, so to speak, because people are going to get bored of it over time, is if you finish the project, and then you could show it off. You got to see it through. It's also the middle of the holidays.
I have to go up. You know, if we kept going on that edge, we get to this point where it starts to taper, and then it gets flat there. This point in 3D space, right there, that point should be well below the part of the ship
that
where the
tapers.
side of hull segment 3 gets flat. It should be well below it. We're talking probably about 30 meters.
Yep.
Okay? So, let's go 30 meters from this point in space here. That should tell you everything you need to know about how off this segment is. See what I mean?
Not really.
It's
just the midsection of the module that's not wide enough to accommodate the Shivas. That I am very, very displeased with past EJ because, look, the low view count basically made me I talked myself out of finishing this, and that's not cool. I don't like that. I didn't play KSP like from basically early 2024 all the way. Well, dude, when did we start picking it up again? Earlier this year. I played a little bit off and on here and there, but dude, you really want the honest truth here while we're laying everything out? I got sick of Kerbal, but not because I didn't like playing KSP. I got sick of Kerbal because the sour taste in my mouth that was left from what happened with KSP 2. I don't want to be anywhere associated with KSP at all. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to be associated with it at all. Because when KSP 2 folded, that was a huge deal. And that's why I just buried myself in workers, because I frankly didn't know what to do. The main game, the game that I was known for, right, went down the tubes. And not only did it go down the tubes, people didn't want to watch it. It's different now. Kerbal's fine. The Kerbal 1 really had a resurgence, especially after Artemis 2, which is great. I'm so happy about that. Like, people are back and playing KSP again, which is cool. But, yeah. I did not play KSP basically all through 2024 and well into 2025. I think I picked it up in the fall 2025, maybe about 8 months ago. Hey, all right, it's just YouTube chat. I'm sorry, okay. I was just getting caught up with YouTube, sorry. Somebody said hi and I was about to say hi to them again. So, yeah. I kind of just did variety streaming for a little while, but I'm really mad at myself for talking myself out of finishing this. That the view count's bullcrap, dude. That's bullcrap. I suppose I was worried at the time that a long-term project in Satisfactory wouldn't work exactly like a long-term project in KSP, but you're not going to know until you do it, right? Like. But then again, at this point, I was pretty significant amount of hours into the project anyway. Well, let's see what else. Let's see what else I figured out was wrong.
It's not like a 1 to 2 meter thing. We are way off.
So fix it, dickhead.
This could be a case where using the save editor website could save you a lot of time. Just select the front of the ship and remove.
Nah, Hellfish, at that point, I was resigned to it. I already talked myself out of it. Okay. Okay. No need to be tough on yourself. Look at yourself now, very appreciative. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily in the best headspace at the time, dude. Hold on. Yeah, pretty much. I hate it when I do that. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look in here. So the bottom of the ship. Where's that measuring tool that I have, that I had? Vertex snap all the way down here. There should be a centerline vertice, right? Here. There it is. A lot of this is the open docking compartment, but if we go to the bottom of 4, it's right. Right there. There it is. That's it. That's the vertice I'm looking for. So vertex snap there. Now we'll go into the forward back views, get the other one, and put the other one right here at the bottom of hull segment. At the bottom of the segment. It's not complicated. This should give you a new datum for where to start this. Right. Okay. There's the new bottom of hull segment 3. That's it. That's where it is. And then what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll build it with the armor plating if it's such a big pain in the butt. Just build it with the armor plating. I don't know why I decided to not build with the outer plating. It's probably because I was just looking to block out the shape. If I had to guess, which is a 3D modeling principle, but that's fine. We're pretty much exactly 70 up from the very bottom of the ship. Okay. There's the very bottom of the ship. Okay, 40. $30. Oh yeah, that was all wrong. Okay, now I want to see one more thing. Let's go vertex up, all the way up here. Where's the top of hull segment 3? There's the top. Top. Vertex snap to the very top. 216, top to bottom with armor plating. Okay. Let's check something, right? Gonna go up 40, so that's 40. $80. $120. $160. $200. It's actually, it's not right. Well, the top edge is right, but if the top edge is right and the bottom edge is way out, yeah, absolutely. I was absolutely right in understanding that this wasn't correct. It's not even close. And that's just, yeah, block out from the ship. But that's where the bottom hull segment, bottom of the inner hull segment with armor plating is supposed to be. And, okay, so what's half of 216? Half of 216 should get me, this 108. So 40, 80. So if we went 28 up from here, that should be more or less the center line of hull segment 3. Yep. Yeah, center line is off. Thanks, Reaper. Okay. Remake it. Right? Like... Alright, I'm gonna put a sign here. Actually, no. You know what we're doing? We got some time before space news. Let's just redo the wireframe now. I know you can mass delete stuff. I understand that, dudes. I'm not doing that because I don't want to mass delete something behind it that I want to be there. know what I mean? Like when we're looking out over the edge like this, you can just mass delete stuff. That's not a big deal. All right. I'll keep the top up there. We'll only delete the bottom half of hull segment 3, so we'll compare old to new. All right, I think I got all of it, dudes. Is there a setting to not have click and hold? What do you mean, wizard? Does that feel so wrong? No, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I know this stuff is junk anyway. There we go. Now, I was starting to work on reactor placement here with this piece, but probably going to have to redo that. All right. This right here is the bottom piece of hull segment 3 with armor plating. That's where it is, right there. Okay, dump that. We're gonna go up here. And we're going to get our center line for segment 3 is right there. I'm getting rid of the measuring tools that I was using, dudes, and I'm just adding it. This is the front bulkhead for hull segment 4. I have no freaking clue what the rest of that is. And then we know that the top edge is exactly the same. The top edge is right. It actually lined up perfectly, which tells me that I was way off. We were off by a good deal on the bottom, and we were perfect on the top, which means my entire modeled segment in Satisfactory was too low. Well, actually, it wasn't even the right shape. Okay, we'll just leave the top so we can compare, but... Is this my largest build? Most likely. Okay, so from the center line... Do we have a center line here? We don't, but we know it's 108. So I'm just going to grid snap this thing down to where it says 108. And is that lined up more or less with the center line here? Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right. Excellent. Okay, so now from here, all we got to do is just go out to the edge of the Shivas. We don't have a center line edge there. Okay, we do this way. So go into our channel line, translate X 38405. So 384.805. 12.794. And then we're out 82 on the y-axis. Okay, there we go. So from our center line, we got to go out 82 meters. And that'll get us to the end of the Shivas. So let's go all the way out here. I don't know. Was it... I don't know. let me get my feet wet. I'd say at this point in time I want to stick with solo, but that's subject to change. I don't know. Okay. All right. So now let's go here. Go into our side view, and I'm going to just measure the length here. I'm pretty sure we got our length correctly. I said it multiple times that we did get it right. $83.3. Okay. Yeah, more or less correct. It's off by a little bit. But yeah, that's not of too incredibly big concern here. Now let's measure out this way. Make sure that we're on. There should be a 2-meter gap here because it should be 82 on the width. Yeah, that's right. All right. Make these bulkheads the same way that I made the ones in the back. Now it should be 82 forward from here. The real big thing with me not wanting to... Okay. That was 83. It is 83 forward, not 82. All right, pay attention. Okay. Pause for a second. Wizard, the reason why I don't want people working on this is because if I had people working on this, I would need a blueprint for the entire ship. Where hulls need to go, where segments need to go, etc., etc. And then that blueprint would have to be communicated to a team of viewers, okay? That's the only way we're going to get this done right, or else people are going to build corridors, and none of the corridors are going to line up because nobody knows where and what to build. The reason why I floated the idea of maybe working with the community on this one, but the reality of that situation is that's project management. That takes time. The amount of time I'll end up doing managing the project, in my mind, you tell me if I'm wrong, the amount of time that I end up doing project management, which I don't think necessarily is the best streaming content, I could have just built it. I don't mind doing project management. That'd be kind of cool, but yeah, I'm good. All right, so now let's go over here. Let's re-vertex snap right there. Where's the other locator? Bring the other locator in. Now let's try to find basically the outside of the armor plating. Be precise. Outside of the armor plating basically falls on that grid line right there. That's the line. Right there. That's exact. 22 meter. Okay, so that would mean the outside of the armor plating with the missile pod should be 22 meter in. Okay, so let's go right here, just behind it. Huh. It lined up. Yeah, Drew, for sure. That lined up with the old outer hull segment. Now, see, now that's just confusing to me, because that means that the top of the hull segment was right, but the bottom was not, which... Okay. Yep. Huh. See, we definitely weren't right on the up-down. That's for sure. My center line for hull segment 3 was off, right? Width seemed to be more or less okay. Huh. Probably should have started with building a frigate, to be honest with you. It probably would have been easier. You know? Interesting. All right, so now let's go get the next shape. I'm going to rely a lot more on the model here. All right, so get this and vertex snap down to here. Get the other locator, vertex snap down to here. So from the bottom of the armor plating on the ship, right here, 16 meter out. Okay, so we got to measure out 16. Good job. So that's where the bottom of the ship is. What are we building? Hey, David, what's up, dude? You play Halo? Ever played Halo? Hey, Gator guy. Thank you. I don't know if you ever know the Pillar of Autumn from Halo. I'm making a 1-to-1 scale replica of it in Satisfactory. We're building John Halo's ship. It is John Halo's ship. Actually, Captain Keyes, but, you know. Captain Keyes. Good to see you, Master Chief. Things aren't going well. Yeah, a long time ago. That's the Pillar of Autumn. It's a, yeah, big sci-fi ship. Building 1-to-1. I decided I wanted to build my factory inside of a spaceship. Because we can. It's pretty beefy, man. I'm redoing some of the front hull segments because they're not right, but it's okay. So I have a 3D model of it. Here. You know, I have a 3D model and, you know, it's not all I have 3D models of. We have 3D models of other things. You know. You can get 3D models of other things and stuff. You might recognize some of these, Dave. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you recognize it. I made these. For what it's worth. Yeah, these are my models. I modeled these. Yeah, I made the payload bay deploy using a set-driven key. And then I rigged the engines too, just for funsies. Watch, ready? It's just aim constraints. It's very simple stuff. How long has this build taken you? The Pillar of Autumn, I worked on it a lot 2 years ago, and then I shelved the project, but now we brought it back. Yeah, no. Also very good shuttles. Thanks, man. Yeah. The shuttle project was another one I was just... Yeah. Back to the pillar. Anyway, yeah. It's good stuff, man. I have a model that was contributed to this project, and I scaled it in Maya to the right constraints for the scale of the ship. And now I'm just measuring edges, and I'm remaking those edges with I-beams, and that's going to give me the structure. I also have its dry dock and flame trench because that's cool. I have some of the ship furnished, not all of it though. I don't know. Chad, but when I was working on this before, how many hours do you say we put into this sucker? Actually, you know what? I can tell you right now. 241 hours. I forgot that it timestamps your Satisfactory save. JK, there's a new YouTube video from SpaceX? All right. Is it the critical path video? Did they post the crit path video to YouTube? But yeah, I'm aiming. I think we should work on this more. It was already on X already. Yeah. We watched it the other day. But yeah, it's still a good video. I did a review on it. I have a YouTube video where I reviewed the whole thing, which is pretty cool. I shall watch that instead. All right. Thank you. All right. So these missile pods, huh? The missile pods. How are we going to do that? Huh. Maybe don't work on those exactly. Yeah. Maybe don't work on them exactly just yet. I think it probably would be important to find the original center line here for its circular shape, but I think about it. And then that we'll be able to discern the forward reactor, enemy 1 reactor's final position. Cool. All right. So let's go in here and let's get the length of the Shivas, top to bottom. We should create measuring tool, distance. Okay, put that in a group. Okay, set bottom locator to that vertex right there. That vertex will give us the height of these things. And then you set the second one to that vertex right there. What distance is it telling us? 48 meters. Okay, so we need to go up 24 from the center line, right? Center line is right here. Okay. I don't know if you are a donut fan, but Krispy Kreme has made a Girl Scout Thin Mint donut. They're so good. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts fan. Krispy Kreme, we don't do that. Hang on. I'm getting a FaceTime call from Bree. What's up?
The gazebo flew into the house. I need your help.
Okay. All right.
Ah, shit.
Hey,
Okay.
watch your language.
You'll see why.
Okay, I'll see you in a second.
Nice.
Oh boy. Wind got one of the gazebos in my backyard. I might need to go fix that. Yeah, I really hope it's not broken, but it probably is. Yep. That's the thing about living near the ocean. It gets really windy really fast. Okay, dudes. Well, I think I am pretty much caught up on where I needed to be. The next time we play Satisfactory, we will, the next time we play, I'll just leave the measuring tool right where I left it in Maya. Yeah, I probably need to go fix that. So, thank you, Past EJ. I hope you guys enjoyed Past EJ's company. Yeah. Gazebo's brand freaking new, dude. That sucks. Because I staked it too, which pisses me off. Because I didn't stake it good enough. So yeah, we'll keep going with Satisfactory. I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be this week. It's going to be a little weird because of Starship, because we got a Starship launch. But yeah, I think let's start working on it at least from time to time. We'll just kind of get the ball rolling with this project again, and we'll see where it takes us. So yeah, fellas, I usually put the stream on break for space news. I'm going to stop it. I don't know how bad the damage is. Wind took the gazebo into the house. So I just hope there's not a hole in the side of my house here. I will give you gazebo updates. I'll give you gazebo updates in a little bit. So aim for space news in about 45 minutes, give or take. Might give me some nominal time here, depending on how bad whatever's going on is. But yeah, stand by for loss of signal. I hope you guys enjoyed the Pillar of Autumn build, and hopefully we can make more progress on it soon. I will see you guys in 45 to an hour. Let's just say an hour, just in case. But I'll see you for space news then. Thank you very much for watching, and I gotta go. I'll see you in a little bit.